Boys Club.
Is it called Boys Club because my apartment looks like a boy lives in it?
I wouldn't say a boy lives in it. I would say a boy is kidnapped somewhere in here.
Boys Club.
We're everything. We're true crime. We're World Star Hip Hop.
We're World Star Hip Hop. We're Netflix reviews.
Stories of the day.
Boys Club.
Listen.
Yeah, do it. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. I think. No, we're not. And on Google Play. Nobody gives a shit.
Boys Club.
Boys Club Podcast. Now with 90% more sound clips of black people.
Boys Club.
Touch me, and I'll sue.
Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is, it's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. I think that's where you'll find him. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Hi there, this is T. Johnny with Quirky and or Queer, a podcast about otherness. Join me as I interview people in the community. I talk to musicians, community workers, artists, comedians, and even my mother about otherness. How does it shape their careers, their romantic pursuits, creative projects, and shape their overall worldview? There are lots of laughs, plenty of tender moments, and some deep conversations. Find Quirky and or Queer on your favorite podcast app.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Not for what we need it for. Oh my gosh, okay. So, hello everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Intoxicated Podcast. We are here with, what would it be, 5th or 6th time recording guest?
Well, second time solo.
Second solo.
I did one solo episode.
You did 3 live streams.
3 live streams and then this.
And Christmas.
What was Christmas? Oh, was that the crossover episode thing we did?
Oh shit, you did crossover and Christmas. You've been on the show way more than I thought. The anti-Christmas episode. You don't remember that magical one?
I guess.
With the rope?
No. Oh, yeah, the rope where we did the gift exchange. Yeah. Well, those are more group things.
So that's...
I feel like this is my second appearance.
So, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I count the group episodes, but they're not on the same level as a solo
I like how I'm
episode.
justifying my... being on your podcast.
We don't have to justify.
You didn't have a guest.
We don't have to justify it. Listen, even if I did an Andrew, I'd still love to have you on.
Enough.
So
Good,
you don't even worry. In fact, when you asked me, I was like, oh, thank God. Because there's a level of comfort with a friend versus someone that you might not know as well.
Well, that's true. You can at least pound out a decent episode tonight. And then you got your episode for the week. You don't have to worry about it.
Got my episode for the week. I know that I have people in the pipeline. It's just like
sometimes
a matter of like when.
That's the thing with guest podcasts, right? Like sometimes you just have a lull where you're like, well, I kind of have to rely on maybe like a past guest or a friend just to kind of like fill this week, because then I got the next 2 or 3 weeks worth of new guests, but I just got nobody this week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a cool thing I'm going to be doing going forward is guest co-hosts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if there's a cool pairing that I think might work.
So if you're a future guest on the Intoxicated Podcast and there's a co-host, what it means is that Sarah doesn't think you're very interesting. No co-host here.
Or
no
it means that Sarah's not comfortable enough on her own to talk to this person.
I'm just fucking now. You know what I just did there? I just made every future Halifax comedian who comes on your show and walks into a fucking co-host go. Oh. That's why I did it. They put the seeds out there just to fuck with them.
Oh man, I have definitely have some people.
Yeah.
I want to reach out to that Sunny guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in town soon. I might reach out to him.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll do it.
Well, it's worth a shot. Yeah. I'm gonna go to Snigley's and introduce myself, like regardless. But that's usually how I do the thing. I just put it out there and I say, listen, and if you like it, you can come on. I like doing that better than asking because I don't want them to feel like, obligated.
Yeah, we take the opposite approach with our podcast. People ask to come on, and I say, we don't do guests.
Do you get a lot of, bearing the lead, host of the Boys Club Comedy Podcast?
Oh, they should know that. I've been on here 7 times already.
You hear their ad every week.
Yeah.
1/3 of the Boys Club.
It's funny with the ads, just to digress for a second.
Yes.
If I didn't play your ad and I didn't play like Mark Splood's ad at the beginning of my show, I would forget to plug any fucking podcast. But like when I listen to Mark's, it's like he plays our ad and then he plugs other people's podcasts that don't even have ads. I'm like, I would never remember to do that.
Right?
Because I just get too caught up in talking.
Does he do that? Does he do that at the beginning of his show or like throughout?
Like he has a segment where he just talks about what's been going on with his week before he has the guest on.
I love that idea.
And that's when he makes sure to like listen to them and listen to that and listen to this.
Right. That's really cool.
And that's when he plays our ad and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I would just forget.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
the ads are good because it just takes it away.
Yeah.
Right?
And the thing is, like, the problem is, like, I have lots of friends that have podcasts. I would love to throw ads up for them. But after some point, it's like, how many fucking ads do you put on a podcast?
That's kind of what I'm wondering, too. Because right now I have 3.
Yeah.
I've been doing 3.
Like, you and Mark's, I think, are perfect for us. We all, you do a lot of stuff with us on the podcast. We do a lot of stuff with you.
Yeah.
I do a lot with Mark.
They're comedy focused podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not opposed to having other people, plug other people's podcasts. It's just my big thing is like, well, I put you at the end, but like then people are just going to turn off.
Because both of our shows are longer form.
Yeah.
So we're pushing like an hour 45.
We do 2 every week. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll go as long as like 2:20. At 2:20, I'm like, I gotta shut this down.
Yeah.
Like I used to be really bad at that. I used to try to force shorter episodes, and then I just said like, fuck it. Like if they're enjoying it, they'll keep listening, and if not, they don't have to.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
But like I find it harder sometimes to have shorter combos than longer ones.
I think it's definitely. I always feel like when we do our podcast that the first hour just goes by incredibly fast.
Oh yeah.
And even though we have fun in the second hour, that it drags a little bit more. Like I'm not saying it drags. I don't want people to think, oh, he just said half his podcast good, half of it shitty. Yeah. It's not what I mean. I just mean like I know I'm more conscious of the time in the last hour because I'm thinking like, oh, are we close to wrap? So I'm looking at the clock more to be like, oh, are we close to wrapping it up? Not because I'm bored, but because I want to make sure we're not talking and all of a sudden I'm like, it's 3 hours and we only do a 2-hour show.
And you don't want to start a topic that's like crazy deep or something and just to be like, oh, we got to stop.
And when I know our outro is 2 minutes long.
I love your outro.
At this point. And I know that like, we got to start to plug our dates before we go. Like, so we really got to wrap things up more like around, instead of 2 hours, we got to start wrapping things up around an hour and 51 minutes. And so that's why I think that second hour feels like longer because I'm always looking at the fucking clock trying to figure out, oh yeah, exactly.
And then other times you can just be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That went by so quick. Yeah. It can, I think people get kind of intimidated when especially newer people when they come on, they're like, so how long do you normally go for? And I was like, to be honest, like I'd take a solid hour. I would post a solid hour episode, but typically it's an hour and a half to 2. It's somewhere in between there.
I think hour and a half to 2 is just good length for podcasts.
I agree.
I think an hour is way too short unless it's like a subject oriented podcast.
Yeah.
Like if I'm listening to
like a true crime.
Like if I'm listening to a true crime, I think an hour is good for an episode. Because if there's more to be told, they do multiple parts, so they leave you fucking want more.
They do, yeah.
But actually, because it feels like true crime feels like a TV show anyway.
It does.
Even though it's just audio.
Because it's narrative.
It's narrative, and it's a real life. It's not just people like, what did you think of what happened on the news? I don't know. How's your dating life going? I don't know. Like So you kind of that format fits, I think. Yeah. For an hour, but I like 2 hour because I'm gonna sit down and I'm most listen when I'm driving anyway. So driving, people like that's a huge thing. Commuting, and most people's commutes are at least. But I will say, like every Thursday morning, I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's New Mark Splood Day. Aww. Like I get excited for my podcast.
Same for you guys though.
Like Friday, I'm like, oh yeah,
Tuesday
Sarah's
nights.
episode's out and Legion of Skanks is out.
I love that, and I think that's the intent of any podcaster to get their audience thinking that.
And I used to listen to way much more podcasts when I had a full-time day job because I just have my headphones in all day.
Right, just listen all the time.
It's like customizing your own radio station.
Yeah. Do you listen to do you listen to a lot now? outside of the immediate circle?
Yeah, I tried. Like, I listened to you. I listened to Mark Splood. I'm behind on this true crime podcast, but the good thing about true crime podcasts where they're like at like usually one episode per fucking topic, you can get behind on it. You can move around. You don't have to be like, fuck, I can't listen to this week's. Like, I've missed a month. I don't know what's
right.
Not that our podcast you could drop in at any moment either, but I just feel like it's easier to get behind on those ones.
Yeah, that's true.
But other than that, like Shane Ogden's a comic from New Brunswick, and I've been trying to keep up on his podcast, but it's so new that it's like I forget about it easily.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's a good podcast. I just forget to fucking tune in because I'm like, oh shit, that thing's on my feed. But yeah, Fridays and Thursdays are my like, my podcast come out today.
I love that we have a cool little community here. It's pretty. Check out Sploodcast, people.
Yeah. And if I'm drinking at home and doing work, I'll put a podcast on or something.
Yeah, I feel like depending on the work, I feel like sometimes I get too into podcasts and I get distracted.
Or you.
But if it's menial work, like if it's host stuff,
or your work requires more concentration, then you find yourself going, fuck, I got to rewind that podcast.
Exactly.
Because you didn't quite hear what they said.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whereas, like, I feel like with your podcast, I'm usually coming home from trivia. Mm-hmm. It's late.
Well, we try to make sure it's up every Tuesday. We record on Tuesdays, so we try to make sure it's up on Tuesday.
It's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So I usually listen either the next day or the night of. But like, it's funny because like I'll have my phone like in the bathroom and I'll be over, and then like I'll hear something that I disagree with, and I'll be like, what? No. Yeah. Like, I'll actually yell out loud.
I don't even I think this is not podcast related, but last night when I was drinking, I think it was like 2 a.m. or something, and I went to go take a piss, and I didn't realize just how loud the song was I was listening to at my desk until I could hear it so clearly in my bathroom. And my bathroom's a long ways away from where my desk is.
Yeah, you have a hallway.
Yeah, and it's around a corner in a hallway. And I just was like, this is probably a little too loud. I'm going to continue to listen to music. I should put headphones in. And then I put headphones in and just listened to hip-hop and fucking rapped along with it for like 2 hours. So I'm so glad my roommate didn't bring a chick home to find me with headphones on, drunk at 3 a.m, fucking belting out some Biggie Smalls. Like, that would have been a weird way to introduce myself.
I just realized that we've been chatting away and have not explained our background at all. People are gonna like watch this and be like, "What? The point of Jurassic?" I asked Andrew what he wanted, and he said Jurassic Park.
Well, I was watching some dinosaur videos online, so I was just kind of in the mood.
What are your thoughts on all of the Jurassic Park movies? Like, obviously the first one's the best. I haven't seen the most recent one.
No, I haven't seen the most recent one either. There's things to like in all of them. They're not, like, the first one's great.
You just can't beat the first one. The first one's classic.
The first one's good. Like, I had someone tell me once they thought the story was bad and, like, pretty boring in the first one. But I'm like, no, like, it's not. Like,
it's just simple.
But it was also, like, it's hard to hate the first one because if you grew up when the first one came out, I think like Oprah had a fucking episode where they toured the fucking studios while they were like making the molds and shit. Like, it was a big deal.
Oh, hell yeah, it would
like
be.
To have a production on that scale and have moving robotics on that scale.
Yeah.
Was something that no one had done kind of since Jaws, sort of like Steven Spielberg or Star Wars, like which, So, yeah, the first movie's great. The second movie's like, it's okay. The third movie, I think the third movie is better than the second movie, to be honest.
I don't mind the third one. I have certain friends in my life that are like, Jurassic Park 3 doesn't exist. It sucks.
The thing I like about Jurassic Park 3, which they fucking reversed in the series, is they started putting feathers on the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park 3.
Yes,
like, especially the Velociraptors had, like, actual feathers coming out of their head.
Yeah.
Because science at the time, we now know that dinosaurs were covered in feathers.
Right, yeah.
But we were just learning it at the time, so we didn't know how many feathers they had. Yeah. But I liked that somebody making that movie was, like, on top of, like, well, if science is saying it, we'll do it.
We need to show. And also, Velociraptors are apparently much smaller. What they made them out to be
they are and they aren't. Like, I was watching a video of it today. There's this dinosaur that's like really. The first era of dinosaurs were really tiny. They were like maybe up to our shin. Right. So the Jurassic era is when they started getting bigger.
Right.
And the raptors were around the size that we see in the films in the Jurassic. At least from what this video was saying. But
Yeah.
But like, see that one picture up there with like the fourth one over?
That's what.
That's what raptors are supposed to look like.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, they basically look like a giant bird, and that's the thing. Birds are dinosaurs. The modern birds are an evolution of the later species of dinosaurs that existed.
That's insane.
Yeah, I loved dinosaurs when I was a kid. Did they ever tell you the embarrassing school photo?
No.
I can show it to you sometime. I don't have it on me. It's at home. It's back when you actually had physical school photos. I don't know what they do now. But,
I wonder what they do now. Maybe it's all digital.
but like, I was so obsessed with dinosaurs growing up that like I made like I had this like sweater and a tie on, but then like I was insistent that they pin a piece of paper to my shirt that says "I love dinosaurs."
Why?
Because I was 5 and I
just
fucking
wanted
loved
them all.
dinosaurs.
That's so cute.
And I wanted everyone to know I loved dinosaurs.
I need to see that picture. You need to see
And there's like the biggest smile on my face. It was
That's adorable.
right before the world just crushed me completely.
At what point? Oh my gosh, we gonna get into so much tonight. We are drinking for this episode when I shouldn't be, but Andrew has a bucket of beer beside him.
Yeah, leftover mishmash of all sorts of leftovers.
You got a mishmash of all kinds of beer, and I am drinking vodka and soda water as I do. It is boring, but it is.
It's a good drink.
It is my drink, and it's what I want to drink when. I don't know, when I don't want to be sick or like risk anything.
I'm just drinking enough beer so I can cram some edibles in my stomach and take this into fucking high gear.
Ooh,
I don't mean the podcast, just my addiction.
Just in general,
Yeah,
just Friday night.
Yeah.
It is Easter weekend as well.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that means.
My waitress today was like, "Happy Easter," and I was like, "Have a good weekend."
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Like,
But I asked you before we recorded about like if your family ever was big into Easter, because I think it's been a while since I've done anything for Easter.
Like, my sister's having a dinner on Sunday, and like my initial reaction, actually, this is so fucking stupid. I woke up to a text that said dinner at my place 3:30 on Sunday. My sister's name is Marina Ettinger. I don't know. You're supposed to give last names out on a podcast? I guess it doesn't matter. But for some reason, because I just woken up, the M.E. I thought was Martin Edwards.
Because of iPhone doing that thing where
No, I looked at the message quickly and just saw M.E. and I thought Martin Edwards. Because like, I'm used to waking up to texts from Martin or like from somebody that I know. Like, just somebody sends me a dumb joke while I'm asleep, right?
Yeah,
so like,
yeah.
I'll wake up and check.
I hate when you wake up to nothing. That's always a sad morning.
Oh, I love when you wake up to nothing. And then it tells me that drunk Andrew didn't get into trouble last night.
I'm always paranoid that I'm going to post something I didn't mean to post.
Yeah. And so anyway,
Yeah.
I thought it was Martin. And I got so excited because I was like, oh my God, Martin's going to invite me over to his family's like
For Easter
dinner? Like, I'm going to be that uncle that's like on the like you ever notice like in sitcoms there's always like the work buddy, but they call him like the uncle. He's not really related, but he doesn't have anybody else in his life, so he comes over for. And then I realized it was my sister, and immediately I was like, I don't want to fucking go.
Well, like, it's just a weird thing because, like, I think, yeah, we used to do, like, you know, as kids, like, Easter egg hunt, like, all that. And then it progressed to just dinners. And I messaged my sisters being like, is anything going on this weekend? Because I haven't heard anything. And they were just like, we don't have any plans. We don't have any plans. And I was just like, I mean, we don't have to do anything. I don't want to make it seem like we have to.
It's
but
weird,
it's just
though,
I just
because
wanted to check.
To me, it's like, it's so fucking weird because it's not that I don't have a bad relationship with my family. I just we do dinners all the time with my sister around holidays, and I know what's gonna happen. I'll show up half hour before dinner. I won't say much. I'll eat. I won't say much, and I'll go home.
Yeah.
Which part of me is like, why bother going? But the other part of me is like, then you don't have to cook.
Oh, the food is so
And I don't
good.
make ham a lot. And I like ham.
Ooh, some fucking
So-
honey glazed ham.
Oh, probably not.
Or just regular ham.
See, what I should do is I should make my own scalloped potatoes and bring. Because nothing goes better with ham than scalloped
Oh,
potatoes.
yum.
I should show up.
You should, like, yeah.
With scalloped potatoes enough for everybody, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, Andrew's usually like quiet and doesn't look like he wants to be here, and this time he's on the fucking ball." Mm-hmm. I look like the good fucking son for once.
Yep. I can make dressing. I could bring dressing to my family dinner.
Yeah, my sister-in-law I made a mistake years ago. She makes good dressing. Don't get me wrong.
Homemade?
But I made a mistake of telling her how much I liked her homemade dressing. So now I can never have stovetop dressing, which I like more. Just because I like. But it's so simple. It's just like. But here we're having ham. We're not having turkey. But every time I go to my sister's fucking turkey, they insist on the stuffing being in the fucking turkey, which is fine.
Yeah.
I know that's traditionally how it's done, but it gets soggy as shit.
Mm-hmm. My grandma, her stuffing was a combination of she just made stovetop, but added some mashed potatoes to it and onion.
Damn,
so
that sounds good.
It was kind of a good love child between a homemade and like it just made it a little more mushy. I guess
my sister-in-law's family did something years ago that I've been dying to recreate. So simple to recreate. I've only ever had it once, but they made sloppy joes, like when you buy the sloppy joe mix, right? I love sloppy joe. They mixed it with hamburger, and then they made mashed potatoes and mixed the mashed potatoes in the sloppy joes, and it was one of the best fucking things I've ever had.
Kind of like a shepherd's pie situation.
Yeah, and then it doesn't and it's not like super like it still tastes like a sloppy joe, but then you get the potato in there, and it doesn't fall over. Like you can almost like make a little patty almost when you're done and put it in the bun instead of like. Just having all this loose hamburger, right? Ooh. But I've been meaning to do it for years. I don't know why. It's so simple. You just get the can, the hamburger, and the potatoes, and here I am. Last time I had it, I was 17.
Why is my mind blanking on what sloppy joe goes on? Is it bread or a bun?
Hamburger bun.
Hamburger bun.
But it falls out the side and shit because it's just loose hamburger.
It's a sloppy
with sauce
joe.
on it. Yeah,
it's a sloppy joe.
Yeah.
Fuck. You just make some of those.
Yeah, you can. All the cans of sauce are 90-some cents, and you just need ground beef and hamburger buns.
So easy.
Yeah, it's one of the easiest things to make. Yeah.
But I'm not big into cooking at all.
I got to start more of that. That's the plan.
I think both of us have been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, probably.
It just doesn't ever happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to this weekend, and I've already ruined it by going out for lunch today. I went out to a restaurant today. And I was like, this weekend I should just cook shit that's in my freezer.
Yeah.
And I bought bacon and eggs because bacon was on super cheap the other day. And then before I got here, I went to go grab something out of the fridge, and I fucking knocked a carton of eggs out of the fridge.
Oh, no.
And they broke half of them broke within the carton. I'm like, well, at least they broke within the carton. I can't complain now. Yeah.
That sucks.
Then I did the typical man thing. Some of the yolk did get on the ground. Where do you think that yolk went? Oh, I used my foot. I just wiped it up.
Oh, no.
Just a tiny little bit of yolk. It's a stupid man. Like fuck, man. At least it's not my piss. It's not like I'm like, oh yeah, I peed on your floor. I just used my foot to clean it up.
I've done that. It depends on what it is. There's a line, I think, with what you can wipe up with your foot.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't getting the mop out for this shit.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. You know who has really cheap eggs? Shoppers Drug Mart.
Mm-hmm.
$2.99.
Well, that's how much these eggs were before I dropped them all over the fucking floor.
No.
So.
You're a big brunch guy, though.
Oh, I should make some potato salad.
You love going over brunch.
No, it's only brunch because that's when I woke up.
I like that about you, though. I like that it's not like you're not someone who.
I woke up and I'm hungry. It just happens to be 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. There's no. This wasn't planned out. Like I didn't get up at 8 and be like, if you can wait and just hold off at 1, you're gonna have a wicked brunch, buddy. No, I'm awake and I'm like, fuck it.
Are you an alarm setter? Do you set alarms? Or like on days where you have nothing going on?
Yes and no. Like I set an alarm usually for 10:30 on weekdays because if I fucking I have to call. I call my mom every morning when I wake up just to see what's going on.
Oh,
and if it's a weekday, and if it's a weekday and I call past like 10:30, she's like, "Oh my god, you're still in bed," and I'm like, "I don't got shit to do. Like I don't know what you." Expect of me, right? Like, so that's why
that's scandalous. 10:30.
Yeah, that's why I set an alarm. On weekends, I'm like, nah, fuck no.
Yeah,
but I alarm when I nap, like, 'cause
yeah.
I need to be up by a certain time. So.
Oh, napping is a dangerous slope.
Oh, it's great though.
Oh, it is fantastic, but I
don't
suck
sleep
at
night.
it.
Yeah.
I always end up sleeping for 3 hours, like way too long.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then you just feel like
I
shit.
took a little nap after, but this is my problem. Like last night, I get up, I go out. I got up I did set an alarm this morning for 11:30 because I had to pick up Daniel at 12 for lunch. So I pick out at 11:30. I get up, I go out for lunch. I get back around 2, and then I went right back to sleep for another 2 to 3 hours. Because why the fuck not, right? I just want to say how this green
Cheers.
shows up on your...
Oh my god.
Oh, it does. It's a darker green. So
Oh, it's kind of translucent, actually.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little.
Put it up to like the sign.
Like up to... Oh, yeah, it is a tiny little bit. That's interesting. It's interesting.
I almost wore my green.
There
Yeah,
we go.
cheers. Yeah, we gotta do another cheer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, 100%. It's bad luck. It's an intoxicated bad omen if you don't cheers. Yeah, but you just recently did a headlining weekend.
Yep.
And it was a shit ton of fun. How did
Yeah, it
that
was a lot of fun.
feel?
It was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad it went well, and there was no... I mean, I'm not really worried so much about the performance. There was like a part of me that was like, fuck, Saturday night tends to get a little rowdy.
Yeah.
And I have no problem dealing with hecklers and rowdiness, but it's just like on my first weekend, I just wanted,
You just want to do your
I
thing.
didn't want the feeling of the first weekend to be tainted by some asshole who couldn't hold his liquor. So
Yeah. Oh no, I that's one aspect of comedy that I'm just like, I do not know how you guys do it.
Oh, it's amazing how good you get at
Dealing with assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time a fucking zinger comes out of my mouth, oh my god, I've been for a week now. I've been repeating an insult to people that I gave to somebody who pissed me off because I felt so good about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was Scott McLean.
Oh right, okay.
But like,
the cancer.
The cancer thing. Like, he wanted to buy weed from me, and I don't fucking sell weed. And I just told him I wouldn't even give him weed if it cured cancer, and I found out he had cancer. And I was so proud of how hateful.
You can use that for anything now.
No, I just was so happy at how quickly this hate spilled out of my brain and onto my tongue. We're trying to resolve things, so Scott, don't feel like I'm fucking picking on you for this.
I'm gonna get, and I've already talked to Scott. He's gonna
intervention podcast for Scott McLean.
He's gonna come back on, and I want to deep dive into this, where all this
you can't, honestly,
where the need for him to
he might he might tell you that, but here's the thing, and this is what frustrates me most about Scott. Contrary to what Scott actually thinks, we actually like Scott.
Yeah, I know you do.
If we wouldn't put that much effort or emphasis or focus onto him if we didn't like him.
Exactly, yeah.
If we just thought he was a piece of shit, we would just ignore everything that he said until he stopped saying it.
Right.
But we do like him.
Right.
And he's got good qualities.
Yeah.
But he is a fucking asshole. And when he's drunk, he's the worst kind of asshole.
It makes it worse when the drink.
And when you try to explain to him what he did to upset you, or what you think was wrong, which may not be wrong, it might just be your opinion. Mm-hmm. It's always met with a no, but like there's never any pause to even think about, like, maybe there's a valid point there. I get it. If he thinks my point isn't valid, I don't want him to fucking coincide to me just to like smooth things over. But like, but you have to take time to think about it. I had a 4-hour phone conversation with him a long time ago about
4
like,
hours?
It felt, well, it might have been 2.5, but it felt like 4. Yeah, sorry. Comics exaggerate shit all the time, so I just went for the major exaggeration. But it was about a 2-hour phone call.
Yeah.
And I kept telling him, I was like, but here's what you did that people have a problem with. It's like, yeah, but my other friends don't. And I'm like, again, you just want to justify your behavior. I'm telling you why people are upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you objectively why people are upset.
Like, there's no need to push
and you have
further.
to just for once, don't fucking try to defend yourself. Just listen.
Yeah,
he is an intelligent guy.
Very.
He is a good guy at his core.
Very.
And he is funny.
Yep.
He is annoying. He will try to fight you when he's drunk. That happened once with me.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he just told me he was fucking drunk. It was after a show, and he said he wanted to punch me in the face. And then the next day, he didn't remember saying any of that shit.
See that? Yeah, that's where you gotta maybe.
I mean, I'm a fucking drink. I can't judge anybody. I'm a drinker. I love drinking. I love doing drugs. But I don't threaten to punch my fucking friends in the face when I'm doing them.
Hell no. Hell no. Fuck that. Mm-hmm. I'd like to have him back on.
Yeah.
And
I'm just giving him some space because I want to make sure that we're cool. But like I wanted to go to Sniggly's last weekend, but he was there, and I was like, I'm not gonna avoid him forever.
Right.
But I just figure like for a couple weeks, it's probably a good idea if we don't interact with each other so we can calm down. Both of us said some pretty hurtful.
Well,
and
it's
shitty
good that
things,
you
so-
recognize that it was kind of a two-way street, sort of.
Yeah, like yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it's good that you know that.
Yeah, I will say though, out of all the fights I've had in the last few years, this is the first one that I exited the fight not feeling terrible.
Oh, yes,
Like
okay.
I was justified in everything I said.
It's a tough thing to...
Like, I'm probably not, but that's how I left the fight. Like, yeah, I feel good about everything I said.
Like, it can be easy to overthink things. So it's good to have conviction sometimes.
Yeah.
And stuff like that with friends.
Yeah.
Especially when it's friends like where like this I mean, I don't know if you consider Scott a friend or not.
I consider him a friend, but like we don't.
But
But
like you
we don't
see each
hang
other a
out.
lot.
We see each other a lot because of comedy, but like,
Cross paths a lot.
and honestly, I would like to hang out with Scott more if I didn't think we were gonna have these blow ups all the time. Because
Right.
of drinking, right? Like
Right.
I would love to say to Scott sometime, hey, why don't you come out to my fucking place for a night and we'll crush beers and we'll just chat.
Yeah,
Get to know each other a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid when he gets drunk, what he's going to be like.
Yeah, that's never any fun.
Yeah.
It's sucky when people get different when they drink.
I would like to clarify, because I know he'll probably listen to this or this will be fucking thrown out to him. I don't mean that I'm afraid of what he's going to be like when he's drunk because is he going to hit me? Is he going to do that? That's not what I mean. What I mean is like, he's just unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
And I don't, when I'm drinking and having a good time, I don't want to be around unpredictable people. That's all it is.
Fucking fair.
Yeah.
And like, would you say that you're not an unpredictable person when you drink?
No, you can count on me to. Well, everyone picks on me. They're like, "Oh, Andrew gets drunk and he gets lovey."
Right.
But like, I love how Martin is like, "Why is that a bad thing?"
That's not
Martin's
not a bad
like,
thing at all.
if I got to pick, that's the guy I want to hang out with. The guy who gets drunk and wants to tell everybody how much he likes them.
Even when you're on
Like-
MDMA, you're like, is everybody having fun? Are you having
that
fun?
is my.
Thanks for coming.
You can tell
Thanks
when
for
I'm
coming
on
out.
MDMA. You can tell I'm high because I'll constantly ask, "Are you having a good time?
Yeah.
You having a good time?" I just want to make sure everyone's having a good time.
That was wild that
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Just witness it. Like, I was just like, because for a second I was like, is Andrew not having fun? Is he okay? Is he sad about something? But then you were just like, no, I just want to wander. I just want to
Honestly,
wander.
like I'm generally more chatty on MDMA.
And that's what I was expecting. 'cause
But
you
like,
told me
I just
that.
felt like I just want to be in this room. And then I want to go over here and be in this room. And then I want to go out here and stand on the balcony. Like, it wasn't like anything against anybody. It was just like I felt restless. I didn't feel like sitting down.
Yeah.
That's why I kept trying to find a chair that was like the least uncomfortable chair for me to sit in.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be like I didn't want to sink into the couch and be like, this is where I am for the next 6 hours. I want to. You know what I mean? Like
That was me. I was smoking a lot of weed that night, and
Yeah.
like me and Shannon just melted into that couch, and
Mhm.
I didn't even know what the rest of the apartment looked like because it was just that living room and that couch the whole night.
And then I think like I disappeared into Daniel's room with him and his girlfriend for like 20-30 minutes, like just chatting. But I was like, oh, the other guy, they wonder where we are, like type of
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Oh my
yeah,
god,
yeah.
I love parties like that.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Me and
Yeah.
Shannon had a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, I pissed some people off, but
Yeah, fuck them.
I had a good night. I was justified.
Yeah, no, look, you gotta. I mean, it's easy for me to say. It's harder for me to do, but you gotta. Those type of people aren't worth having in your fucking life. You know, I
Adult friendship should be let everybody do what they want.
I have a lot of friends in my life that justifiably, non-comic friends, justifiably could tell me to go fuck myself and never talk to me again.
Oh, really?
Because of how little attention I give them. Just because I'm always busy or like I have to cancel plans last minute or blah, 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 blah. And they don't. They just go, well, that's just the life. That's what he's doing. And I know it bothers them and I know it makes them upset.
Yeah.
But they don't chew me out for it.
Right. Well, I think what
Yeah.
people have to realize is that friendship is a two-way street,
Mhm.
but we shouldn't blame each other. Like,
No.
like in other words, like you're busy, I'm busy. If we don't talk, that's none of our like. That's just
Oh, it's
life.
like I told.
That's just life
I
happening.
tell one of my best friends from high school. He still lives in Bridgewater, and I tell, we talk a lot more frequently in the last year than we have in many years.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has to do more with the fact that his kids are at an age right now where they're still kids, but dad and mom don't have to be there
Right.
every minute of the day to make sure that they're not going to kill themselves or
Jesus Christ.
No, but I mean like by like doing something stupid like kids do, you
Right,
know,
right,
or
right.
like
hurting themselves.
They're
or
not
getting
little.
into-
They're not going to put their fingers on the stove or in a light
Right.
socket or any shit like that.
Yeah.
But I tell him all the time. He's like, "Sorry, we don't." He'll say stuff like, "Sorry, we don't hang out much anymore." And I'm like, "Stop fucking apologizing. I don't get like, you have a life. You have things that you're doing. If we're really true friends, we could go 10 years without talking and it wouldn't be a problem."
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be blaming each other, and like it's just this passive aggressive nature of sitting back and expecting people to start conversations with us and make plans with us. It's like it's a two-way street. If nothing happens, it's no one's fault. But also, too, you can't blame someone for not fucking reaching out when you're not reaching out either.
Yeah.
So like everyone just fucking get over it and realize that this is like adult life.
Yeah.
And like you said, like true friends like could just start talking after a lot of time, and it's like nothing.
Well, a perfect
You know?
example. Last night I messaged two friends of mine that like I don't,
you
I
tell the
barely
story?
ever talk to. Like I just want to be like, hey, I was just talking to somebody about you. Like, hope you're doing well. Like
This is fascinating, though. Are you willing to talk about this?
I guess. I mean, I don't know how fascinating it is. That's the
I
thing,
think
it's
it's
just
really
weird.
cool.
Yeah.
So you played an online.
This was like, so I've been in comedy 9 years now. So I started in 2010. So I want to say this would have been 2008, 2009
Okay.
circa. So we're
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
10 years ago now, 10, 11 years ago. And I used to, like, I'm a big, I grew up watching, like, I loved Big Brother and Survivor and all this shit. So I started playing. I found out there were like online versions of this through LiveJournal and AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
So what you do is you sign up. Then everyone's given everyone's AOL Instant Messenger, and it's your job, basically, anytime that you have free to chat with everybody. Like when you're playing Big Brother, you think of it like a house, and you chat with people.
You're
in the
going
house.
into a room and talking.
So you get to meet people, and you say like, no, you don't even go to a room. You just message each other individually, or you
Right.
do like a group chat if more people want to be involved in it, right? And then you kind of get to know, and you pick your alliances and all this sort of shit. And I did Big Brother the first time, and it was my first time playing, and I get to like 4th place. Like
That's so crazy.
I got really fucked over by two guys. It was like I thought I was in an alliance with. I thought I was the one controlling them, and they were very, very clearly controlling
What
me.
kind of conversations did you talk about your real life?
Oh
Or
yeah.
like
yeah.
okay, you just
Lots
chatted.
of- it's like honestly,
talking.
it was exactly like you would if you were in the Big Brother house,
Right.
because they ask you to leave your AOL Instant Messenger online whenever you're online. So
Right.
anybody can message you at any point.
Interesting.
So I'm at work all day with this on, getting messages from people all across the fucking world. Like, oh, what do you think of this challenge? And like, we get challenges. Like, challenges were fucking hard, man. Like seriously. Like, the guy who ran the Big Brother one, I remember one thing in particular. He had this video that he edited. It was like a 5-minute video with 2 to 3 second clips of music videos from the 80s. Like, not enough to make them distinguishable by the sound, because he removed the sound as well. And then you had to go, just by watching 2 to 3 seconds of a video with not the song on it, you had to figure out
Who was?
who that
The
was
band?
and what the song was.
Oh my god, that'd be hard.
And there were 20 of them in this video. Like,
Oh my
so, and it's only so it's, or however many. Like, there's a lot, right? So you go with your alliance members and be like, oh, I figured these ones out. I figured these ones out. You do answers together. But we also had to do diary rooms. Like
oh my god.
yeah, where most people did them by type. I did all of mine by video.
Oh my god.
all of them by
I'd love
video.
to see that
And-
so much.
Hey, here's where
Oh my god.
here's where it gets really embarrassing.
I love this. I love every aspect.
Because
of
I
this.
did everything by video.
Okay.
Sometimes on the comment threads, I would reply because what would happen, a challenge would go up, and then the players would talk to each other on LiveJournal through that and stuff like that. And I remember at one point something happened over Christmas time, and like this guy totally fucked up our plans, and I was like livid. And my friends in this community that I play with still joke about this today, because I had this really like vitriol, angry video I put out, like chastising this guy's move, and I ended it with, "I hope your holidays fucking suck." So it became like this joke. It was almost like so much rage it became funny that somebody would be that mad about something so trivial. So it became like a joke. Like literally, they'd be like, people would say it all the time in games afterwards. Like, I hope your holidays fucking suck.
Wow.
Because it was just so funny. Like,
I love that.
so I did
Your
that.
holidays fucking suck.
I did that, and then I did a season of a Survivor game, and it was called Survivor. This was a really interesting concept. This is. I hope your listeners find this interesting. By the way,
I hope so.
I don't think they're going to.
I don't know much about them.
This is just more ammunition for Travis to hold against me. And I feel like that's a video clip right there that you could use to promote the episode.
This will come out on
is more
Friday.
information than Travis can hold against me.
Hell yeah, he will. And this will come out on the Friday, and then you guys talk about it on Tuesday.
So this guy, his name is Nick. He was the guy who ran this game. I think he ran it with another guy. I can't remember. But it was called Survivor 5 Boroughs. And
New York?
Yeah. There were a set of, each tribe was a different borough.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
So like 5 people were the Bronx, 5 people were Staten Island, 5 people were Manhattan, 5 people were,
What are the Brooklyn. 5 boroughs?
So you got Staten Island, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, and fucking Christ.
Should we look it up?
I don't think it really. I mean, you can if you want to. I might even be wrong. You watch. It's not going to even 5.
I don't even know if I spelled it.
I thought it was B. Yeah, 5 boroughs of New York. B-U-R. You're asking me how to spell shit? Now you know you're in trouble.
I don't even know.
You had it on there. I could literally find it quicker on my phone at this point.
I'm just really
It was
blind.
a suggested. It just said it. No. Now it's just giving. Click the Wikipedia. Okay, so Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens. Why did I forget Queens? It's the home of fucking Spider-Man. Anyway, not that we were like, but one of the things he did is like one of the challenges I remember, and that was like Google image screen caps, and we had to figure out what the street was based off of the Google image screen cap. So you're looking at all the buildings around, you're like, Rite Aid, and then you realize there's 80 million Rite Aids. like,
shit.
Yeah.
That's insane. Do they still do? Okay, number 1, 2 questions.
Yeah.
Does LiveJournal still exist?
Yes.
And number 2, do they still do stuff like this? I wonder.
They do, but they don't do them on LiveJournal anymore. I think they do them through Facebook, and I haven't played them in years. There's a comic out of Hamilton. I don't think he lives in Hamilton anymore, but he's originally from Hamilton. His name's Clifford Myers, and he is obsessed with Big Brother.
Oh, really?
And he plays these games all the time right now.
Really?
I just don't have the time or interest to play them anymore. They take up a lot of your time.
I fucking loved LiveJournal when it was
Especially,
at its prime.
This is before people had fucking real cell phones with apps. Like, I mean, could you imagine if we had an AOL Instant Messenger app and that's what we were... like, now you'd play it on Facebook Messenger. I'd be trying to do this and I'd be getting 80 million fucking messages about some dumb game that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And anyway, so in the second game, I made it to runner-up. And we had a really good strategy. Me and my buddy Josh, it was like... nobody trusted me, but they trusted him. And they shouldn't have, because me and him were in a secret alliance and nobody knew about.
So that's you would chat individually.
He'd
together.
be like, "This person's saying this about you," and I'd be like, "Oh, this person's saying this about you," and then we'd use that information against the people that were saying it about us.
And you mentioned that you'd have like public fights or something.
Yeah, we'd stage fight. Towards like
together?
the end. Towards the end, I think I remember us having like staging a public fight, like to make people think that we weren't together, because it was getting down in numbers, and people were like, how's it getting down in numbers and Andrew's still here?
Right.
Like.
Yeah.
They were like, is he an alliance member? And then it had to be like, now I have to make it look like I don't have any fucking alliance members.
Well, I've always thought that strategy of teaming up with somebody who people think you guys are not on the same page at all. I've always thought that that's a good strategy.
My strategy was you have to have a real final 2, and then you have to have 3 fake final 2s. Yeah. 3 or 4 fake final 2s.
But you need one it's like what Dan said, because Dan with Memphis. Like,
and this was way before any of that shit. Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah.
I just love, that's the thing I love. Like, people like to make fun of Big Brother and they like to make fun of Survivor, and I get it.
I understand why, yeah.
And especially with Big Brother over the years, like, I haven't watched a Big Brother US season since I think I told you the one that Ariana Grande's brother was on.
That was a while ago.
I like how back in the day, there were attractive people on Big Brother back in the day.
But
there were also regular people. Yeah. And I get, you can make an argument like they have, the one season actually that really, I will say it was the Frankie one that I didn't watch, but you know the one that really fucking annoyed me?
Which one?
And again, I hope this is interesting to anybody, but I never get to talk Big Brother and Survivor, so I'm kind of enjoying it. The episode, there was this guy, Ronnie, that was on the show, the scrawny, not scrawny, but like the nerdy, and he thought he was going to be an evil mastermind, but he just sucked at the game. And then he got whiny and cryy when he got caught up in his lies, which again, if you're going to be a fucking liar, be a liar on the show. Be Russell Hantz on Survivor. Fucking own it. Be a scoundrel. Don't fucking cry when it blows up in your face. Think of something different.
Own it, yeah.
And that's what kind of ruined it for me. I didn't like the cast that, and the fact that they kept bringing Rachel back. Like I was
Rachel
like, I
Riley.
hated her.
Yeah.
Like I liked watching people chew her out, but like I'm not gonna watch
an
entire series just to hear people yell at this guy.
Yeah.
I will say I did go back and watch another season, and there was this hipstery guy with a beard that they brought back. Paul, I thought was a really good player.
I loved Paul.
I thought
Thank
he was
you.
a really good player.
Not a lot of people like Paul.
I went back and watched some other season I hadn't seen, and I was like, I think this guy's top tier of the best Big Brother players.
Well, because people's main criticism with him was, he's just getting away with everything. Like people are just letting him run the house. I'm like, yeah, people are letting him run the house. That's not his fault.
And to me, well, the thing, and that's the thing, I always like the strategy part of it.
Yeah, same.
And that's why I like Survivor more, because I feel like the strategy is more important in Survivor than it is Big Brother. I mean, because you can have your personal dramas, but when you're out there not eating in the middle of nowhere,
it doesn't matter so much.
You don't have like, who took a long shower this morning is not your fight. No,
totally. I feel like Big Brother takes over my life, but then I always feel like I just should really try with Survivor. I feel like I would like it.
I would love
every
to keep
time I
up.
watch it, I'd like it. It's just I don't keep
Honestly,
up with
the reason I haven't kept up on Survivor is mostly once I started doing comedy and really doing comedy, it's just like I used to not do comedy shows on Wednesdays or Sundays because of Survivor series finale, but like now it's just like, and the hard thing is trying to, if I miss 1 week, I used to listen to so many Survivor podcasts too, like every week, like. And there's some good ones out there. Rob has a website.
Rob
Sesternino. It's a great fucking podcast.
Oh, I love Rob Sesternino.
And he gets everybody that's on the show on. So I might try this season to get back into it because the rumor is it's champions versus champions season.
Right.
Where they're only bringing back winners.
That's crazy.
So 2 tribes of winners.
Oh, shit.
And I think that could be kind of
well, it makes sense. That show's been going for
Dude,
a long
that show started when I was in high school. Like when people say to me, that's what. Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck if you don't like reality TV. And some of you are probably tuning out and be like, that's fucking reality TV garbage, right?
Heroes out.
But I think that like that something has to be said for a show that's been on that fucking long.
Agreed. Same with Big Brother, though.
I remember when Survivor first aired on TV. They had there was a show that I watched at like noon one day, panel discussion show on Global, talking about like, has Survivor changed TV forever?
Right.
Has this new format effectively changed the way we do TV? And now we know it hasn't. Mm-hmm. People were worried that this meant the end of scripted drama television.
Oh, hell no.
And if anything, scripted drama television is at a fucking renaissance.
Is more.
Right now, so,
more so.
Yeah.
It probably paved the way for other shows like The Bachelor, like stuff like that is more scripted. Everyone in my life is like, get into The Bachelor. And I just can't do it.
Can't do it.
I'm not into it. It's too cheesy to me. I don't.
Well, it's the same as like I used to like The Real World when it felt like a group of real people living in a house, and when it became what felt like a group of casted people and scripted drama and things inserted to make them fight, I had no interest in watching it.
But even in like Big Brother Canada and Big Brother US nowadays, the diary room sessions, they're like fed lines. And they're told to say these like cheesy things, and I fucking hate that. And that's why when you and Travis got me into Big Brother UK, I was like, this is so much better because like it's more about who these weirdos
isn't
are.
Isn't it kind of strange though that I just said my favorite part is the strategy thing, but I love Big Brother UK where there really is no game or really no strategy.
But there is in a weird way.
There is and there isn't. It's not like the US version.
It's not like US, but it is about forming relationships.
My favorite, I always find in Big Brother UK like there's always some fucking dude that I hate immediately. Then I end up liking him.
Right? Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this guy's a fucking douchebag. Look at him fucking trying to stir shit up. And then he stirs shit up with someone who's even worse than him. And I'm like, Good.
But that's the thing when you
Like
get
the
to know.
blonde, muscular guy from the last season.
Oh, Lewis.
He's
the
such
other
an
Lewis.
asshole when he walked in, and then but then he started fighting with people that were fucking assholes, and I was like, I like you, Lewis.
Especially with a format like that where it was every single day you were getting to know these people. There's no way that you could not maybe start to like someone.
And
you didn't
another
like
reason
before.
too, because it's British television, they're less like obviously they cast Lewis, who's chiseled male fucking model guy.
Yep.
And they cast girls who are like 10s.
Yeah.
But then they cast dudes that are 1s.
Yep.
And it's not like there's only one of them in the house. It's like they have a really good representation
They do.
of what people look like. And that's just British TV in general.
They cast characters. And I feel like Big Brother Canada.
Cast looks.
Yeah. And they also cast, and they almost cast based on past cast members. In other words, like you could point out like he's like so-and-so, she's like so-and-so. And it's just like, this is so fucking stupid.
I did I did watch the first season of Big Brother Canada. And I didn't hate it. I had issues with it, but I also realized it was the very first season, so they were obviously going to have to work out some kinks, right?
Yeah.
And I like that they sort of seem to be doing half American, half British, like some different rules and shit. But the winner, who was the
winner
woman?
was Jillian, but she won by a misvote.
But her and her boyfriend that were both
Emmett,
yeah, he was from here, the boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't, but he was.
She's from New Glasgow.
Oh, so they were both from Nova
They're both
Scotia.
Maritimers.
Yeah.
I see her actually sometimes.
Well, okay, yeah, they were in. I remember like a year after it aired, they were in. I was in Sobeys one night, and they were on Queen Street, and they were in there at like 1 a.m.
Oh, really?
Just trying to grocery shop because people wouldn't leave them alone.
I've met them
and
a couple
even
times.
Even at 1 o'clock, people were like, "Oh my god, it's."
Yeah.
And I was just like, they just want to get their fucking groceries.
Yeah. It's that to me still though. That moment where Topaz casted the wrong vote is still one of the greatest moments.
Oh, it's hilarious. And then she tried to be like, nope. And they're like, no, that's the one you chose.
And did you know that Dan Giesling was in the crowd for that?
No.
If you actually watch the video back, he's in the crowd and like she's like looking at him going, what the and he's like, I don't know.
That's your own fucking fault.
Like, because Dan actually does Twitch streams.
Oh,
he
okay.
plays
I
video
didn't know
games
that.
on Twitch. And at the
can't
time,
watch that
because
shit.
I'm such a Dan fan, he's probably Dan Giesling's probably my number one, like my number one favorite. And there was one time that he was
I'm
taking
Chilltown
Q&A.
all the way. They're my favorites.
Chilltown, that's
Dr.
fair.
Will.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
nobody's better than
Yeah,
Dr. Will.
yeah. I hate all of you.
Yeah. Vote me out. I don't like any of you. And then they keep them. I'm like, how the fuck do you tell a bunch of people that you hate them? And I feel like this is a reality TV.
I know, I love it though.
But I don't talk about it that much to many people. So
That's okay.
hopefully-
We can talk about whatever the
we
fuck
can
we
keep
want.
talking about it. I just hope your listeners give a shit.
Hey, listeners, you listening right now, if you made it through this, you're the true.
Yeah.
You get us. You get
Yeah.
me and Andrew.
Yeah.
But no, it's still one of the greatest. Like, even if you're not into Big Brother, you need to see the clip of Topaz casting the wrong vote. Because at the finale.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Because at the
I'm
finale.
going to go home and watch it tonight after this.
You're supposed to cast who you want to win, but for all season long, you've been casting who you want to
But didn't she have something
evict.
bitchy to say, too? Like, she was
Yeah.
was all fucking like, oh, I'm going to make this fuck. And then she fucked it up.
And
That's what the best part was.
And Gary was her best friend in
Yeah.
the house. So she said something like, I'm sure of this 110%. And like put the key in. And then it ended up being, she ended up voting for Jillian.
Yeah.
And it's just insane to me.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
I also used to really love The Amazing Race. But I just got behind. That's all it was.
They're doing reality Amazing Race this season. So they're doing cast members from past Amazing Races, Big Brother and Survivor. They're doing duos.
Yeah,
so
they've
duos
sort of done
from-
that before.
This is like a mix of all of them now,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
It's like Amazing Race is interesting because there's less strategy.
Yeah.
There is strategy, but it's less like, oh, I got to spend 12 hours talking to this person and
Right.
earning their trust and building an alliance
Yeah.
because you're just so on the go.
Right. You're working together. I've never watched it. I
like it
I
a
really
lot.
should.
I even like the Canadian. I think the last one I watched was the Canadian one with Hal and Joanne McLeod, the Body Break. people.
Oh yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, the fucking mustache was gone. It was shocking. I used to do a joke about that. I was working on a joke about Body Break.
Yeah.
And about how like she definitely liked the mustache ride, but like later he didn't have the mustache. It's like, did she grind the mustache off of him during the mustache ride?
Oh my god.
Body Break. body break. Yeah, it's
grinding the mustache off.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What an epic mustache he used to have, though.
There it is.
Well, the reason I did joke, there was a body break one about exercising like during travel and flight, and they had one where it was like Hal was rushing to make the plane and barely made it before it took off.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember going, "That's not fair. He's on Black people time. You can't fucking, you can't hold that against him. He's technically
time?
30 minutes early." You don't know about Black people time?
No.
Oh, Black people are notoriously late to every. I feel as a white guy. I wish Travis was here. I just realized I usually say these things when my black co-host is here so he can fucking back me up on it. But now I just look like a racist white guy that's like, yeah, Black people are all lazy and shiftless and late.
Are they though?
Yeah, they're notoriously late. It's a term. You Google Black people time right now, it'll fucking pop up.
I want to just because I guess that's the time that I'm right on too.
Colored people's time. That's even worse than what I said.
Oh my god.
Why would you leave it as colored people time, Wikipedia? That sounds... It's a stereotype. Yeah, that blacks are frequently being late.
Wow, I never knew that was a thing.
Thing is, all stereotypes rooted in a bit of truth, so...
Wow.
Yeah, Black people time. That's what... Ian Black was always late, so we said he was on Ian Black people time. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna start saying it now when I walk into comedy shows. Play it. I'll be like, I'm on Black
Show up to work and be like, I can't help it, I'm on Black people time. What do you mean? I got this watch out of Africa.
And then I'll just blame my family crest.
Man, don't look at the diamonds. You do not want to know who had to mine those. They were definitely the same people that were late to mining. That was a bad joke. Anyway.
Oh man. Oh fuck. What was? I had I literally had a question come to my mind today, and I said, write this down, or you're going to forget to ask.
Okay.
Andrew
Do you remember the general idea what it was around? Because I know drunk Andrew promised a lot of full disclosure.
Well, I mean, you take pride and you play truth or truth. You don't.
Yeah, that's what I said. We could play truth or truth.
You don't play truth or truth. So there's no gross food on this video podcast because Andrew doesn't do that.
I'm not eating any fucking thing I've never eaten coming out of your apartment again.
Whereas Travis will do both.
Ass wings.
Travis will do both. He will.
I just don't need it. Like I'll either tell you the honest truth, or I'll fucking tell you like off the podcast that we can't air that section. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not that person. I think I did it to you once, and that was about it.
Wait, when?
On the last live stream, I was like, I said something I really.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Regret saying so.
Yeah. It's not often that you regret what you say.
Well, I regret what I say a lot. It's just not often that I ask to redact it or like care about redacting it.
Right. Oh, why is that?
Well, if I'm gonna fucking say it, I'm gonna put it out there. You gotta stand by what you say.
Well, it's kind of like going back to what we said about like being a brother. Own it.
I don't say anything that I don't feel is true. I just sometimes feel like, did you have to say it?
Right.
Yeah. Like,
it's weird because when Frost did the face reading for me, she said that because I mean, she didn't say it in these words, but I got a big fucking forehead, and apparently, like, she's like, you hold back a lot with what you say, and I was like, I don't think that that's the case at all. I don't think I hold back.
Yeah.
But then Danielle made a point. She's like, you only hold like you have a close circle of friends, but everyone else thinks that you're so open, and so they assume that you're close. I
think too, it's like it's easier when doing a podcast. I mean, you're interviewing me. It would be rude and disrespectful, I think, if I didn't
answer questions.
But no,
I think that there's lines. And there should be things. That's like...
Yeah, but I like to try to think that I've lived my life in a certain way that like I haven't done anything that even if I'm embarrassed about, that I'm not too embarrassed about to talk about.
True.
Yeah, like I've learned from anything that I'm super embarrassed about instead of...
Yeah.
I feel like if you're hiding shit, you haven't learned from it.
That's very true.
So you may as well talk about it, right?
Dang.
Yeah.
It's all about the learning process. Are there any harsh lessons that you've learned in doing comedy?
Too many to count, probably.
How much time do we got?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly can't think of anything specific off the top of my head, but I mean, that's the whole point, right? Probably my first 5-6 years of comedy were probably nothing but lessons.
Right.
Some of them harsh, some of them not so much. So
right, but you just rolled with it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
all-
don't feel like I don't think I've done anything majorly wrong in comedy.
No.
A couple things were little missteps, and a couple other things were.
Right.
You know, I kind of wish I would have waited to record an album, but that's natural, I think.
Ah, well, why don't you do another one?
I will.
Do you want to do another one?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I got to have the material is the
Right.
issue. So
Right.
I don't have another 45, 50 minutes that I've already recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the issue. When it gets there, it'll get there, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, you should do another one. Do you, like, are you already thinking about like titles for your future album?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I had a plan. Like, well, you talk about regrets. Like here's the lesson. So after I put out my album, I said 2 years I'll put out another album, and it was more of a motivation to keep me on track.
Yeah.
Now I told some comics in 2 years I want to put out another album. And then comics kept bringing me up to the stage, be like, he's working on another album.
Oh, they're like holding your feet to the fire.
And I'm just like,
too much.
I am, but I'm not. Like, I will be okay with holding my own feet to the fire.
Yeah.
I am only telling you the reason I gotta be disciplined is because in 2 years I want to make sure I have enough material to record another album. And then I had a comic come into town that was like, are you doing another album already? And I went, no.
Dear God.
I just said in 2 years so I could have a goal to work towards. And they were like, oh, okay, as long as that's the, you know what I mean? Like,
wow, yeah.
So that was like one of those things where you're just like, fuck, I wish I wouldn't have even said anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, like, I think I heard it somewhere. It might have been Armchair Expert, because that's where I learn a lot of things. But that you're actually more likely to get to a goal if you don't tell anybody.
Whereas
like
I just feel like
nothing,
if I tell everybody, then I'm more apt to complete it.
be accountable to it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I don't think that's actually worked in my life, so who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? Do you set, like, how far ahead do you see in the future? Are you someone who, like, can
looking
next week?
I don't even know if I'm gonna wake up in the morning. That's how fucking little I look into the future. Some days I'm hoping I don't. So
Oh my God.
some days I remember once my roommate's like, "You make a lot of noise when you wake up." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm angry that I woke up."
Stop it!
I was like, "Oh no, not this again."
Stop it!
A sweet, sweet peace is what I was hoping for. Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm just fucking joking.
But do you have any long-term goals that, like?
No, I mean, I probably should, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I want to do, but I'm a big, I'll have an idea and I'll be very excited about an idea, and sticking to that excitement for the idea is the challenge. Like, and following through is the challenge. Like, yeah, if it's a joke and it's something, that's one thing. If it's an idea to do a whole different project, that's where it gets like, am I gonna actually do this? And I think that's what you're saying is best, because then I get excited and tell everybody, "Hey, this is a great idea."
And then people will
this
start
great
asking
idea, and then they
about
go,
it.
"Oh, the fuck, that is a great idea." And then I realize, "Ah, shit, I didn't do that great idea." Yeah.
But then you don't want to just do it because it'll impress other people. You want to do it for you. Like, I love how with me, it's like I say so much and I do so little that I think people in my life are just used to me saying, I'm going to do this. And I don't think that they hold me accountable because they know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think I'd probably say it's probably the same with me.
Yeah.
Like if I say I'm going to go do a show or I'm going to go work on this bit, they know that
it's a little smaller chunks.
Well, they just know that it's going to happen. But if I say, "Oh, I got this idea for a whatever," you know, like they're like, yeah, it may or may not happen.
I feel like that was half of the motivation for me to start the podcast, because no one thought it would happen, because I had been talking about it for months and no one thought it would happen.
Yeah, the
And then I was
podcast
like,
to me, our podcast is the least of my concerns about getting things done. I know every Tuesday we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I know every Tuesday it's going to be released. So I just know, now that I know there's that.
That's comforting.
It's comforting to know. I know that my co-host is going to show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know
even
that,
when you're not in the same city, you still do it. That's
Yeah.
motivation.
So it's like, it's different, because like when I was trying to do podcasts before and they were solo podcasts, it gets so easy to just not do them.
Oh my God, yeah.
That it's like, but when you have somebody else there and then you get excited about doing this with them and doing the episode.
Yeah.
And I keep saying someone else. Sometimes we have 2 other people there. Sometimes we don't. More frequently, it's been both of them, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I don't know. It's just, I have ideas. And, yeah.
It's a comfort to have, like I was telling Andrew, I'm like, I get jealous of people with co-hosts because you do, like, you can bring guests in when you want, or you can just shoot the shit.
We're not opposed to guests. Like, we had Mike Lynch on once. He was a guest as a comic, very funny Newfoundland comic, tours all over the world, in the country mostly, but all over the world. I know he's done some stuff in Thailand and shit. And because he kissed a Taiwanese hooker, which you're not supposed to do. Find that story on our podcast if you want to look it up. It's one of the episodes. There's only 60 of them.
Early?
So not a lot
Early on episode?
Middle-ish, middle ground, probably around 30, episode 30s, something like that.
Okay.
We've had him on. Martin did an episode a little while ago with us. We're not opposed to having guests.
No,
ideally,
great.
I wouldn't mind having. Here's the issue. My idea of guests are to have like guests drop in.
Yeah.
Like either you're there for the entire episode, which I'm totally cool with, or you drop in. Yeah, like, but we don't have the regimented scheduling with our podcast to be like, oh, we got a guest coming in at 7:30 because we're not a real radio show. But that's just how I see it in my head.
Right.
So I'd rather they be there for the whole episode, which I'm fine with. But we're not going to change what we talk about or how we talk about things.
No. But that's how I think that's how it is with a lot of, unless it's an interview style podcast, which the focus then goes on the guest.
Yeah.
Like that's what I dig about these podcasts that have a format or a set thing. Like if it's an advice podcast, we answer questions. So the guest purpose is to come on and answer questions with the host.
But see,
stuff like that. Like they just come on and they're a chameleon.
And generally for us, the benefit is that if we do have a guest, most of the time it's a comic.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier to be more free flowing and more, we're just going to talk about something we saw in the news or a fucking movie we watched. And did you see it? Did you see this story? And you can jump in.
Right. Trending topics.
But sometimes you have to go into interview mode.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have a potential guest coming up in a couple weeks that I really think we're gonna have to go into interview mode for. No, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that like I think probably there's some stuff she'll probably shoot the shit with us with, but it will have to be, I think, a little bit more interview.
Yeah.
Especially because you bring somebody on, like we have you on our podcast. We go, oh, it's Sarah from InTalksicated Podcast. We've done 8 fucking crossovers or whatever thing by this point. More crossovers than a fucking Marvel movie. And or like we have a comic on, we just go, it's a comic, and then you kind of have this intrinsic trust that it's a fucking comic, right, on the show. But when it's somebody that our audience doesn't know, then you have to have a little bit of interview.
You have to introduce, this is what they do, this is da-da-da. Yeah. No, I think I'm very excited for that future episode. Stay tuned.
As long as it happens.
Subscribe to the Boys Club Comedy.
Yeah, we got...
and I truly enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed it before I even knew you guys.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we do. I think we have a good podcast. I think generally we do. I think it's fun.
Your podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I used to listen to it all the time, and I don't listen to it anymore, which is fucking funny.
Yeah. I think the longer you do it, the less you listen to your own shit.
But I also feel like I don't need to listen to it because I know it was good.
Yeah.
I think in the past I used to re-listen to it thinking like, I know that episode was good, but I want to listen to it just to double check.
And you must agree too. Sometimes you don't remember anything you said.
Oh yeah, sometimes like especially by the extras. I always listen to the extras because we're drunk by the time the extras recorded. So I always have to be like, what did we say? But that's when people have to pay for it, so it doesn't matter what the fuck we say. So,
we're always waiting for someone to go back to an early episode and get offended.
Yeah, well, fuck them.
Well, actually, that's something I'd like to bring up is Facebook and social media. And you've mentioned before that, like when you think of jokes or funny things, like there are certain things you put on social media that won't make the stage.
Yeah, it's for stuff that's just not funny enough to be on the stage.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I think like recently, the best example I had is recently as I put something on Twitter and actually like a pretty big comic from Montreal who's pretty big in the States too. retweeted it, and it
Oh,
got
really?
like 23 or 4.
Amazing.
It was one of my highest, not bragging, that's
Yeah,
nothing,
yeah, yeah.
but it's just like one of my highest kind of interactions.
Engagement.
And I just said, if you're wearing pajama pants with pockets in them, you're not wearing pajama pants, you're wearing depression pants. And that's just something like
I love that.
it's not good enough for stage, but it's clever enough
I
for
think
a
you
tweet.
could almost turn that into something.
Yeah,
for
but
stage,
it's
so.
clever enough for a tweet, you know, like
It totally
so it's not something I want to hang my hat on for a joke on stage. But you get like 15, 20 people retweeting it, you know, liking it, and then you never know.
It's really cool. My response to Whitney Cummings' tweet got a bunch of likes, and all it said was, "I posted your tweet on Facebook, and I've been defending it all morning."
It's funny because a male friend of mine reposted that tweet the other day, and
Oh,
nobody
really?
said shit.
What the fuck?
Nobody on his friends list said shit. But you have to, I mean, ultimately, you have to understand when you're saying shit online, there's a portion of people that are going to, whether they know it or not, are going to genuinely feel more comfortable challenging you because you're a woman. Like whether they know that that's subconsciously what they're doing or not, I think they're less likely to challenge a man than they are a woman.
And a lot of the times, it's women challenging women.
Yeah. Oh, you guys hate each other. It's fuck. Men aren't the problem for women. It's other women.
Other women. It's so true.
Feminists are
Sometimes
terrible.
men.
Feminists are terrible. They hate more women than they do men. Like it's and different racial lines and different divides. Oh, the feminist movement is. I mean, it's great. Feminism's. I'm not one of these. I hate these fucking guys. I hate these fucking guys. They love to say they're feminist. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not an ist of anything.
Yeah.
I want equal rights for both of us. I don't give a shit. You're just trying to get your dick sucked when you go out and you publicly want to be like, I'm a male feminist. Go fuck yourself.
I just,
Ugh.
I don't know. I just think people are so quick to.
But in the feminism movement, like I was saying, you got there's so many problems in the feminist movement when you take white middle class feminists or white upper middle class feminists. They don't look at other fucking poor women of color the same way they look at their other female. Like there's so many fucking problems. But that's just any ideology. I'm not saying there's fucking
and just the internet in general and the need to argue.
Yeah, I mean, tone is everything, man. Like I almost got into it with a guy last night. I'm so glad I diffused it.
Yeah.
Because then I realized, like afterwards, like we were both reading into each other's tones a lot worse than they were. Oh, it's just like I posted, the picture of the Trump quote where he was like, "Oh boy, I'm fucked. This is the end of my presidency." Yada yada yada. And there's a guy. I won't call him a comic. No offense. If you do listen to this, I'm not trying to be a dick. You're not a comic. You're an open micer. And
there's a difference.
Barely. And there's a difference. And that's not an insult. I'm not trying to fucking put you down.
Is open Mike Foxworthy going to make an appearance?
He is my favorite character.
If you insist on being called a comic.
Yeah. If you've done 3 shows and you were charging $15, you might be an open micer. Anyway, I've known this guy for a while, and I knew that we would have different political views just from stuff he said. And so he started to write, well, if you research this more, like he was, blah, 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 blah. But then he said completely baseless accusations against Trump.
Yeah.
And I went, dude, when you say fucking baseless, like that just tells me where your opinions come from. And now I don't want to listen to anything you have to say.
Yeah.
You can't you can't just present facts. You got to throw your opinion in there.
Yeah.
And then he went, well, fuck me for trying to have an opinion and fucking like the typical right wingers like to say that left winger. And I'm not a left winger. I'm not left wing. I'm not right wing. I fucking hate both sides equally. I'm very much a centrist. I believe gay people should be allowed to get married. Well, they are, but when they weren't. I believe in equal rights and equal pay for women, which is very leftist. I believe in socialized medicine, which is very leftist.
Yeah.
But I believe in fiscal responsibility, which is very conservative and stuff like that. And I believe in free speech, which now seems to be something conservatives are fighting for more than liberals are. So I guess So he said something to me about that, and then I went da-da-da-da-da. And then he goes, but you're a comedian. Isn't your job to have opinions? And I was like, no, my job is to be funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's my job. Like, don't get me wrong. The best comedy has opinions behind it. But the best comedy wasn't written with an opinion in mind. It was written with a joke.
Something to make someone laugh, yeah.
And a joke to me is a joke that reflects something about the way that we live in. Whether it's trivial or important, it reflects something about how we live.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where the opinion comes in, but the funny has to be there first.
The funny has
So that's why I said, no, my job is to be funny. It's not to have an opinion.
But and I think people who see jokes and get offended by them, they just don't take the second to like be like, okay, wait a minute.
So then he was
let's
like,
look at this statement.
He said something. He's like, well, I guess pandering is one way to get to the top. And then that's when I got angry. I was like, what do you fuck do you mean pandering? Are you trying to say Are you trying to say that everything I fucking earned, which I worked my ass off for in comedy, and I'm still working my ass off for, that I pandered to get it when you can't write a fucking joke to save your life? Like that was what was going through my head.
Right.
Like my immediate thing was like, I'm gonna fucking ruin this guy. I'm gonna make a comment that's gonna be so fucking devastating that it's gonna ruin his fucking weekend. It's not gonna ruin his night. It's gonna ruin his next 4 fucking days. You want to challenge me? I'll fucking show you who to challenge. Yeah. And then I realized I'm insane right now.
Right?
Why am I this angry?
It's always good to have that moment of clarity, though.
And then I realized we just got a joke about this. And then so I started making jokes. I called them silly. It's actually funny. Nick Beaton is a comic from Toronto who told me, anytime you're in an online fight, tell them they're stupid and it'll diffuse the fight. Because it's just they can't handle how stupid it is to say you're stupid, right? So I just said you're being silly.
Right.
And that diffused the fight. And then we started joking about porn. Like, it was just...
you know what? I had a feeling of who it was, and I was right. I just looked at the post.
Yeah. I mean,
I
and that's just
I
like,
knew.
honestly, I'm not rehashing this to be like, everybody, fuck that guy. If you see that post, you know who I'm talking about. Fuck that guy. What I'm saying is we've lost... I don't agree with him politically or fundamentally. I just don't. But I don't have to get into a fucking fight with him on a fucking Thursday night at 11 o'clock at night because we don't agree.
Well, it's like what you said, like, remember the days of seeing something you didn't agree with
and just walking away
and just keep scrolling.
Yeah, scroll off. That's not for me.
Just keep scrolling. Or if it's really bugging you and it's a normal thing on your feed, either block the person, unfollow them, or...
But I gotta do that all the time, man. Like, I listen to fucking podcasts my friends do, and they say something that I don't agree with, and then I find myself being like, fuck you. But then I'm like, why are you getting mad? This is your friend.
What did I say?
No, it wasn't you. but I'm just saying, like...
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, why are you so mad? You don't hate this person. You love this person.
Yeah.
And then I go, yeah, I do love this person. I just don't agree with that statement.
Exactly. It's okay to disagree.
It's okay. Even if I think that it comes from a completely baseless, fucking baseless place and a fucking ill-informed place, it's okay. Yeah. Because even bad opinions that don't have hate behind them are fine to exist. They're just bad opinions. If they're bad opinions that have hate behind them, then you might want to fucking tell this person to slow their roll. But that's actually a good way to fight. Like you can't get along with everybody. You just can't. There's a reason why we go to school. It's a reason why we go to public education is to understand that there's a bunch of fucking people in this world, and they're all different, and they're all gonna have their own different opinions, and we're not all gonna get along.
It's true.
But we have to learn how to accept it and we're not all going to agree, but we're going to learn to get along. Like, yeah.
It's just interesting to me, like, who's more susceptible to it than others, though, is the thing. Like, I posted a picture of a Starbucks coffee cup and got a message saying, why don't you use disposable cups?
Why don't you fuck off? That would be my response.
It's just like, why?
Like, yeah, you spent your day doing this. That was your time. This was what you wanted to.
It's just, I just think it's just absolutely ridiculous.
I had to eat for a second. It's weird for video.
Girl, gotta eat.
Oh my God, I have this gummy, this edible gummy.
Oh, where'd you get those?
This is a dispensary I go to. 125 milligrams.
Oh, toasty,
the government
toasty.
wants us to have 10 milligrams.
Oh, fuck
That's what they think the max is, and I just took 125.
10?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So fuck the government's illegal fucking shit. I was so on board for them. Not anymore.
Not on Team Gov.
I used to be.
Not anymore.
Product sucks.
Yeah.
I gave them 6 months. They said they wanted 6 months to work out all the kinks. Scott Belford mentioned it on stage the other day. April 16th was officially 6 months.
Really? So they done.
Kinks are still there, so.
They still got them kinks.
Yeah. Anyway,
what is it? Is it dry?
What's that?
Is that the main issue with the weed? That's dry?
No, it's not. I don't even fuck that it's dry. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I'll smoke dry weed. I'll smoke fucking moist weed. I don't give a shit. I just don't want to walk in and go, here's a piece of paper with what we have available today. That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah. That's fair.
You can't keep your stock up. That's the problem.
Yeah, and also other places will deliver to your door, which is very convenient.
It was funny though, because like last weekend I was outside having a cigarette at the party, and Daniel came out and he brought his pipe with him and he was smoking weed, and there was that part of me that was like, dude, we're on your front balcony. And then I went, oh, it doesn't matter what balcony we're on anymore. Yeah.
Did I tell you about? Okay, so after you and Kirsten had brunch that day, we went to the booze store, and I didn't have my ID was expired, so I couldn't buy booze. And so I was like, Kirsten,
which is such bullshit.
Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
And I turned into a 15-year-old girl, being like, I'll wait outside. You go in. I'll just wait. And she's like, Sarah, like, you could still come into the store with me.
Yeah, they're not going to, like, chase you out. You look like an adult.
You're still 32.
Yeah, you look like an adult. They're not going to fucking be like, get out of here.
But a part of me was just like, oh, I can't. It was hilarious.
That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Oh, my God. I just got so scared. Judge's daughter, dude. Like, I just get nervous.
No, I get it.
Don't want to be caught.
It is bullshit that they want to accept expired IDs. It's still your photo.
It's still my birthday.
It's still government issued.
Yeah. Well, right now I have an expired ID and a big piece of paper.
Yeah, that's what here's how you know you're an alcoholic, because when I got that big piece of paper, my first question was, what happens if I try to buy booze? And they're like, they should accept it.
Yes. I was like,
I didn't give a fuck about getting pulled over by a cop. I just wanted to know what happens if I wanted to buy beer.
It's a very important question. Mm-hmm. What if? I love how it's, what if I want to buy booze? It's not literally, this is my next stop.
Oh, yeah, I'm going there right now. So I need to know.
Oh, here's my question.
Sure.
Okay. Whenever you come to drink or get drunk, you bring a lot of beer. Yeah. How many beer does it take for you to feel drunk?
Just beer?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you want to... it depends. How do you define drunk? Like, do you mean buzzed or do you mean drunk?
Let's say buzzed.
Buzzed, 8 or 9. Drunk, 14, 15.
Holy crap. That's a lot.
Yeah.
8 or 9 would be like my drunk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's funny because... people are like, other comic friends like, oh, fucking Christ, that's why I started mixing edibles with alcohol, to be honest, because then it reduces the amount of beers I have to take to get to where I need to be.
See, I can't mix.
Yeah, well, you can't. A lot of people can't. It took me... I used to throw up when I used to mix edibles with alcohol.
Oh, fuck.
But you build a tolerance, and then your body gets used to what you're putting into it, right?
Yeah.
At first, your body's like, what the fuck is this? And the next day, you feel like you're walking through a cloud, and you just feel a weed hangover. Sometimes you get sick. Now my body's like, this is just another day. Like, this is just what it is. And besides, that's why I started doing it. But one of my favorite conversations ever with my friend Andrew Evans, and I said something. He's like, my dad came up to visit, and I think between the two of us, drank 63 beers or something like that. And he was like, oh my God, you guys... It's like, even if that was split down the middle, that's 30-some beers each. And I went, yeah, but we were drinking all day. And he goes, it's still like 30-some beers. He's like,
what?
He's like, you can't drink 30-some beers. And I was like, Andre the Giant could drink 30-some beers. And he goes, because you can't. You have to stop comparing yourself to Andre the Giant. He's like, you can't live your life like you're Andre the Giant. And just that a grown man had to say to me that you can't live your life like you're Andre the Giant.
That's
great. Makes me laugh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Should go on your tombstone. That would be a great tombstone.
Andrew the Giant. We hardly knew you.
They said I couldn't do it. And I couldn't.
That's why I'm dead at 38. So
But you like to get fucked up a lot.
I do.
Where does that come from?
I just like the way that it feels.
Where's the budget for it, though? That's what I always wonder. Like, people who drink a lot and get high
Oh, there's
a
this
lot.
thing I don't buy called groceries, right?
It's all that not eating.
Yeah. No, and I fill out my bankruptcy form under the grocery part. That's where my NSLC receipts go. No.
Well, it's just like I consume a lot of booze, so I usually can't afford.
But
to
you
be a
have
pothead.
what 3 drinks can get you buzzed, right? 3, 4 drinks or 5.
4 or 5.
But man, if that's all it took for me to get buzzed, I'd be laughing at how much money I spent on alcohol.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is like I actually think this is very funny, but I remember trivia a couple weeks ago. I said, because I hosted a trivia room, and I said to the players something about, I don't know how the brain works. I don't know how my brain works. All I know is that I have to put enough booze and alcohol into it so it shuts up, and then I can go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like that. And I just thought it was funny.
Does it turn off your brain though?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it helps me get to a point where I'm not worried about things, and then I can go to sleep. Yeah.
Because otherwise, your brain will keep you up at night.
Otherwise, I'll just stay up all night. Like, you shouldn't have said this. You shouldn't have done that. Like, maybe you could have handled this interaction differently. Like, but I get fucked, and I like being fucked up. I just like it. It's fun. I wish our entire life. When these edibles kick in and these beers kick in, I wish everybody could live their entire life the way I feel in that moment.
Hopefully, we'll capture it on video.
Probably not. It's going to be a couple hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it'll be a few more hours.
What's the thing about edibles? Yeah, they sneak up on you.
It takes about 45. It takes about half hour to 45 minutes. If you're drinking, it takes longer because the alcohol kind of
right
dilutes it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I have more than I would on a normal night. I would just take that gummy and feel like I was flying through space. But then I brought these homemade gummies I made,
and I would have half of that and be flying through space.
Yeah, I mean 125 milligrams is a lot.
For most.
For the uninitiated, it's a lot.
Jesus
I just wanted to use a word that was in a Batman movie.
Uninitiated.
The uninitiated.
I love it.
To the uninitiated.
But
yeah.
But back to the anxiety thing. Mm-hmm. Do you think you have anxiety or?
I think everybody has, but
it's true.
I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know if I have anything that's diagnosable, but I know that I have. I watched a video on anxiety years ago that explained it in a way that I had never heard it explained before, but felt very personal to me. Mm-hmm. I felt very real to the stuff I experienced and the way that and one of them is nagging thoughts, which is what I always knew that I had. And the ability not to fall asleep at night because you start reviewing everything you did in the day.
Yeah.
And having nagging thoughts about it. I didn't know that was a symptom of anxiety. Now, maybe it's not, but according to this fucking video, it was.
No, it makes sense that it would be.
And so, yeah, there's that. But I don't know. I like it. I like feeling fucked up. That's such a weird thing to say because it sounds like an addict.
No.
I get it. I'm an addict. I get it. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a drug addict. I totally. I don't like nights where I don't have edibles. I don't freak out and fucking.
But if you didn't have it,
I can go without.
Then you're not.
But I don't like it.
I don't think you're an addict then.
I know, but I don't like it, and I try not to.
Right.
I don't drink every night, just so people know that. I
Yeah.
drink every Tuesday night with Travis.
Yeah.
Most Thursdays, I'll have a couple beers when I get home from trivia because I usually don't work on Fridays, so it's kind of like Thursday's my Friday.
Hell yeah.
And then I'll drink Friday and Saturday. I mean, that's still, that's half the week. It's still a fair amount of time, especially a guy being my size and my diet. It's not good for me to have all this alcohol. I get it. But we're all going to die.
Fuck it.
So just try to enjoy your fucking life.
I know.
And if it's not here's how I look at any drugs, alcohol, no matter what. Is your rent paid? Yeah. Are your bills paid? Yeah. I joked about groceries, but do you have food to eat? Yeah. And go nuts.
Then you're fucking good. And then it's your choice.
It's your choice.
And if that's how you wanna.
Yeah. If you want to spoil your liver like I'm doing, fucking good on you.
Good on you.
Yeah, you do your thing. And this thing, like Martin said, I get drunk and I tell people I love them. I don't get drunk and fucking hit people.
You're spreading
I don't
love.
Get drunk. You're
spreading positivity.
Through alcohol.
Through alcohol. We're just Andrew's in a bad mood. Just feed him some beer.
Get him some booze. I understand it's an issue, and I understand it's But
I don't think it's
I
an
don't
issue.
dwell on it. Yeah.
I was wondering if you thought it was an issue.
There's been times. There was like a time not this winter, but last winter where I
really?
felt it was a little out of control.
Yeah.
But this was the point where I was drinking almost every night. So
Right.
it was getting a little out of control.
What was it that made you think, fuck?
I just was drinking every night.
Yeah.
And it was like, because like what happened was I went on the road and I was away for 3.5 weeks, and you're drinking every night when you're on the road because it's just a party.
It's just you do your show and have
Yeah,
drinks
and then you have
after.
drinks with the comics,
Yeah.
and then it's a party every night of the week.
Yeah.
And then you come home and you're sitting behind your computer after an open mic and you're drinking because you're just used to doing it for 4 weeks.
That's true.
And then it becomes a point where you have to go like, oof, what am I doing?
Yeah. Did it make you feel physically shitty?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
But it doesn't, right now it's not at that point for me anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's still heavy drinking, but it's not.
But it's not every night.
Yeah, it wasn't every night. And so,
As long as you have it in check.
yeah, you gotta know your limits, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm a big dude. When I say I can drink 24 beer, I can. And most people go, wow, 24. But I'm a big guy.
So
It's
you'd
a
have
lot
no
of
issue
alcohol.
doing a century if we did a century.
I haven't done one since university, but I'm pretty sure I could handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest part of to me, the challenge, especially in university, is peeing.
Yeah.
Oh. Because you got to.
So our
I had
Canada
a
Day
buddy of mine that
centuries?
was handing me shots while I was peeing to keep up with the every minute you had to pee.
Yeah.
Or every minute you had to take a shot. And sometimes when you got a bunch of booze in your system, the pee is longer than a minute.
It's true.
So
Every Canada Day, we do an intoxicated century, and I stock the bathroom with shots of beer,
yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, I can do a century. I mean, it's a very easy way to get fucked up in under 2 hours.
I've never made it to the 100.
I've only done it once, and I did the 100. The first time I did it, I made it to the 100.
I assume you would.
Yeah.
It's the fastness of it, I think, that gets people.
Well, it's funny because
drunk.
I'm probably having 100 shots a minute.
You just did a
But when
century.
you put it in a cup and you make sure it's timed, it's so fucking strange.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's. I think I got to maybe.
I think I'm gonna
50.
do tomorrow's 420. I'm gonna do 100 edibles in 100 minutes.
Tomorrow's 420.
And it fell on a Saturday.
Oh my God.
Well, when you're listening to this, it won't be tomorrow. But
Right.
we're recording this on the 19th. So I had to look. I had to fucking look. I just said 420, and I had to look. So kids, maybe don't drink. Maybe don't.
When this airs, it'll be in the past.
Yeah.
So they've already gotten high.
That's what I find funny. Like a buddy of mine, Shane Ogden, I just recorded for his podcast last week or 2 weeks ago. He's like, "So you're gonna headline next week?" I'm like, "Yeah." And we're talking about that, and then like the episode still hasn't come out yet. So it's like,
People are gonna go looking for tickets.
no, they're not. It's just that like, and it's not a big deal, but there's that weird broadcaster part of my, because I love radio. I'm obsessed with radio.
Mm-hmm.
So that weird broadcaster part of me that's like, well, I know you did other episodes, but if you're gonna have somebody talk about something that happened that's coming up in the future, you should have that episode drop before you fucking.
Oh well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. We're in the past or in the future. Mostly in the past.
Yeah, mostly.
Good old podcasting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it's a crazy ass world.
Oh, it's fun. I love it.
What about deep cuts? What about women and dating?
Okay.
You're not interested in it at all.
I'm not interested in it. It's just,
You don't want to find yourself. Well, you told
Like
me
if you were trying to sell a fucking, you're trying to sell a fucking box cube television on Kijiji in 2019. You wouldn't put the ad up every week. You put it up for 2 weeks, and then when you realize nobody wanted it, you take it down.
That's a sad analogy.
It's not sad. It's just is what it is, you know.
But you said that if you were to have someone, they'd have to be like an independent.
Yeah, well, no, it would have to be an independent woman, somebody who's. Despite not having relationships, I've learned a lot about women through my other friends' relationships.
Oh, that's true.
And most women are really horrible at having an identity to themselves. Most women, and I know some of your listeners who are women are going to hear this and be like, fuck that guy. But what I mean, I'm not talking about you.
No.
You're obviously a cool Not you, but I'm saying you in the general sense. You
Yeah.
and your listeners. You're obviously cool individual girls with your own shit going on in your life.
Yeah.
And your own jobs and your own passion. But you got to admit, a lot of you fucking women out there, their whole life is like
Their partner.
or
taking
when I
on-
get a partner.
Yeah.
Or when I get a man.
Yeah.
And that's all they care about.
Yeah.
Men are like, I want a woman, I want to get laid, I want pussy, but I got 90 million other things going on too.
True.
And I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that we position women in society that it looks like that and it's not that way. But I it's just how I feel. Like I need a woman who's like, okay, I'm going out every night of the week to do comedy. Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna go do this.
I'm going out with my friends.
Yeah.
Do this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean,
you'll be home by midnight. Yeah, I'll be home by midnight too. All right.
well,
Well,
that's
fuck.
an interesting thing that
You know,
you bring
like-
up because dating and comedy must be challenging because of the fact.
I mean, you could eliminate half of that sentence. Dating is just challenging for me.
I mean,
so.
that's true, yeah. But in particular, a job where you're out late, it's late at night,
Yeah.
and like it's a little more unpredictable.
Yeah.
So
And I would never
it
date
have
a
to be
woman who set down rules. I can't.
Yeah. They'd have to be able to roll with that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sad about not dating. I'm not. I don't want anyone to ever get that interpretation. I'm not. I don't date. I don't have sex anymore. I'm perfect. I mean, I'm horny right now more than I have been in a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not to be weird about it.
See, I'm the
if
opposite.
the online reality gaming talk didn't turn you off, the big cat talking about his sex drive will. It's not always there, but like right now, it's there.
Right,
Like,
right.
It's really there, and a lot of my friends are fucking right now, and it's almost like
Just little, yeah.
it's like going to see an open mic comedy show when you're not booked on the open mic comedy show.
Aww.
Like you want to do it because you're around it. Yeah, like I can do
Right.
this. I know I can.
I feel that.
But I just don't. I just haven't had a big sexual history, and I think milestones that people go through in developing their sexuality, and what I mean by their sexuality is how you have sex and what it's like to have a relationship and have constant sex. I just have such limited experience in that. Like any woman that gets with me for a long period of time or is gonna have to understand that like my growth is stunted sexually.
Yeah.
Because I have such limited exposure.
And there's
to
nothing,
it.
like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's like discussions that may need to happen or like just some basic understanding or.
That's true.
You know, I'm not a guy who, I'm not going to go out and fuck somebody I don't know for one night.
No, I don't think that's fun.
I've done it twice.
Like people,
it's not fun.
My friends get on,
That's the only times I've fucked were one night stands. It's not fun.
but they were friends, weren't they?
Kind of.
So it's not really a one night stand.
Yeah, but if you don't ever talk to them or fuck them again, isn't it not a one night stand?
Yeah, you're probably more in the one night stand
Exactly.
arena.
Yeah.
But I get people get on my case about being like a tease, but like I like drawing things out a bit and taking some time to get there. Like I think that makes for a more fun experience than just like
It's just,
wham bam thank you ma'am.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's honestly like I've had what I consider 2 one night stands, and I just would rather try something else.
Yeah, like a relationship.
But the options aren't there, so there doesn't bother me. I just go, okay, I'm happy in life. I'm happy in life.
I wish that I was you though. Like I wish I
but
could
I'm
have
35
that.
years old, and you know, here's the difference. You are entering a sexual peak in your life. But what I mean by that is you are entering a point where you're more sexually you're more interested in sex than you're going to be ever in your entire life, and that's right now at your age.
Yeah,
that was for men was 10 years ago.
That's true. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, like when
So you're more sexually hungrier now than ever, because women at your age are more sexually hungrier now than ever.
30s, yeah.
Men are more sexually not that they're always sexually hungry, but their peak of their horniness and their sexuality is their mid 20s.
Right.
I'm 35.
You passed it.
I'm past. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean I don't fucking think about what I would love a fucking woman to fuck me tomorrow, tonight, fucking this afternoon, next. I don't give a shit. You know, like. But it's like I also have to understand that like the reason why I don't fuck too is I have a type of women that I like and they don't like me. So it's a different, and I get it,
That's
it's nothing bad. It's just it is what it is.
But it sucks, and it's okay to say that it sucks.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't want to be depressed about it. I have the best friends in the world. I have the fucking best people in my life.
Yeah,
and I have this thing I get to do that I care so much about.
That's true.
So I don't give a shit about pussy. I don't.
Damn.
I don't give a fuck. I mean, it'd be nice. I don't give a shit.
But it's not a
priority.
It's not a check mark on your box of things you care about.
No, it's very far. If I was to prioritize the list, it would be very far down on the list.
Very far down. Do you think that's because it's been so long?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people suggest to me, like, you should see a doctor about low testosterone and shit. That might be it. I don't know. I just don't,
Yeah. I mean, like, what would they?
They give you testosterone.
And it would just make you horny?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
It's not going to make me drop 100 pounds.
It might just make it
It's
worse.
not going to grow my dick 8 inches longer.
Yeah.
It's like,
and making you more horny isn't going to change the fact that you're not getting laid.
Yeah, we already know somebody who's like that. Like, it's not, it's not good. I don't understand. I don't understand training for a fight that's never going to happen.
Oh.
No, but that's a good analogy, right? Like that was a funny analogy. You got to give me that.
It's
like you're not going to take steroids and hit the punching bag if you ain't going to go out and fucking challenge for the title.
Not much of a point.
What's the point, right?
But do you think okay.
I'm very proud of that analogy. I don't know.
And also let me know if I'm digging too deep and you want me to shut the fuck up.
That's okay. I'm about to run out of beer soon, but
would you ever like try? Because the idea of trying to meet someone is daunting. So most of us go online and
I think when you try, you die. I honestly don't think anybody, and I mean honestly, when you're desperate, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. You'll never meet somebody.
That's true.
You'll never be in a relation. When you're desperate, it will never happen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody you know that's in a committed long-term relationship will tell you, I wasn't looking, and then I found this person.
Yeah.
Everybody. Hands down. And if somebody tells you, no, I was looking and I found this person.
Except for
that shit ain't going to last.
Rachel Feinstein, who met her firefighter husband.
Ain't going to last.
When they're married.
Yeah, probably. Well, Rachel Feinstein, fuck you.
She was at a steakhouse.
Yeah, fair enough.
And she went out with friends, and her intent was to meet a guy.
Okay, well, fair enough.
It's the best story ever. I
honestly just think that, like, you have to. I've had women over the last couple, like 35. I've had more women hit on me in 35 than I have in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't looking, and that's when they came around.
And also, you just weren't into them back.
Well,
right?
no, I was into them. I was into all of them. It's just they all their own shit going on. Like.
What do you mean you were into them and then you didn't do anything?
Every girl that I kind of hit on me this year, I was into. It's just there's other factors that go into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Fucking nuances of.
And the thing is too, it's like if I'm being 100% completely honest with you. Because of, like I said, my sexual stunted growth or whatever, is like there's already this weird nervousness. If I hook up with a woman, I don't give a fuck who you've been with, how many men you've been with in your past or you've been with. It's your past. Everybody has fucking,
Yeah.
But I've been with so little women that if I'm like, oh, you have kids, I'm like, I really don't know how to fuck that woman. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to fuck. I don't know how to fuck. I don't know how to kiss. I don't remember how to kiss.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a good kisser or I'm a bad kisser. I don't fucking know because I just don't know.
Right.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
So when you throw that on top of the fact that of like, oh, well, they know because they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
It's just daunting when you compare the two.
It is.
It sounds silly, but it's the truth of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still find a way to talk about it a lot. Even if I ain't fucking, I still find a way to talk about it all the time.
I mean, why not? I hear
women are beautiful.
I hear it's fun.
Bodies are beautiful. Having somebody else touch you is fun.
Well, skin hunger is a thing, and that is a real. True
I don't even know. It's just basic contact. Having somebody
intimacy
touch another.
Yeah.
We're people that are meant to have some sort of intimacy in our life.
Yeah.
And not having any is different.
Is not fun. It's not.
It's just how you look at it. It's just different, you know. Like
yeah.
That's how I feel about it, at least. I don't know.
Yeah. But you're also a self-deprecating person.
Yeah.
And so am I.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of people telling you to stop being self-deprecating?
Not as much anymore as I did when I first started comedy. Like when I first started, it was like, oh my God, you really don't like yourself. Like,
right.
I mean, I think it's just a disarming technique. It's like, I'll make fun of myself so somebody else doesn't.
Exactly.
But I don't think that, I don't know. I don't think anybody tells me not to. I mean, now I'm in a group where it's just of people where it's just like, who can make fun of the other person the best. So it's kind of hard to be like, you know, like you should tone it down, dude. Sounds like you don't like yourself. Like it's like
yeah. I like that there's I like being friends with comics because they get it. Like they get the self-deprecation and like the jokes. And like when I do it with other friends, they're just like, yee. And I'm like,
oh, I hate it when people
don't like
people
that.
think it's like, oh, that's sad. It's not sad. It's a fucking joke.
It's a joke, exactly.
Shut the fuck up. Like,
but is there any truth in the saying that there's like a small kernel of truth in self-deprecation?
Yeah,
jokes?
but I mean, but what is the small kernel of truth? Like,
well, like you making suicide jokes all the time.
Yeah, but it's because the small kernel of truth is we could all check out at any moment, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if
so
you,
it's not as depressing as what people think it might be.
I mean, I have a lot of things I would like to do in my life, and but if I did die tomorrow and there was some sort of afterlife, which is not going to be, but if there was. And I had to look at a book with some old fucking white dude, which there's not, but let's just say that there is. And I'd have to go over everything that I did in my life and say, do you feel satisfied with what you did up to this point? I would say, yeah, there's some things that are left undone, but I'm satisfied.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I still have a lot of stuff I want to do, but I don't have...
well, you've been in a career... doing something you love for
9 years.
For 9 years.
Yeah.
That in itself is amazing.
Yeah.
Because
I've never been happier since I started being a comic.
And like, do you feel like it's work?
No. I said that to somebody the other day that I hate that corny sentence of
you'll never work a day in your life if you're happy.
But I don't feel like I'm working. I mean, sometimes I joke when the audience is bad. I'll go, time to put on your work boots, boys. Like, this is not fun tonight. This is work. Like,
well,
but then you have beers after the show, and then you're like, this isn't work.
There's businessy aspects to.
There definitely is. It's definitely a job. And well, here's the issue too. I think a lot of comics love joking about how it's not work. Mm-hmm. That when non-comics go, oh, you like, is this a hobby or is this a job type of thing? It's like, fuck you, man. Like, we're the ones who get to say that. Like, we're the ones who get to poke fun at it, not you.
That's true.
I do so much work for my job that I don't get paid for.
Right.
That it would if I could legitimately sit people down and explain to them everything that comics do just to make themselves good enough for that $100 they get for 20 minutes, you would never put in that dedication.
That's true.
To a normal 9-to-5 job. You would go, fuck you. I get paid to be here from 9 to 5, and from that, suck my dick.
Yeah.
You would never do that.
Yeah.
But we go home and we spend hours looking at, does this word go here? Does this thing go here? Does this sentence not to be said? Does this joke go before this one? Does this one go before this one? Like, so much work.
And can you imagine if you clocked all those hours?
Yeah.
Like, it would be a lot.
It'd be amazingly high, the number of unpaid hours you get for what you do is your job.
Right.
People don't think me sitting at home writing is my job, but it is my job.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Y'all should be getting paid for all
who's
these
gonna pay
hours.
me for that? Nobody.
I don't know.
You know, like,
It's an ideal
I
world.
can't
I'm
ask the
dreaming.
club to pay me for the hours I spend working
Well, I guess
on
the
my
only way
jokes.
that you could do that is if you were like working on a TV show or something. I don't know. Like you'd be, you know what I mean? Like
If you're a writer on a TV show, you get paid when you're writing those jokes, for sure.
but that's not the
But
reality for a lot.
do you know those people that are writers on those shows? They spent many hours in their house writing jokes they didn't get paid for. You do a lot of work in comedy, so that when you get paid eventually, it's for the work that you did that you didn't get paid for.
Right.
Whether it's lined out like that or not. Like people sometimes find out that I make $500 for 20 minutes and like, oh my God. I remember a trivia one night, I made a joke about it to this team. And I was like, oh yeah, like I just made $500 for 20 minutes the other night. And this girl went, marry me. And I went, this is not an all-time thing. By the way, this is not like every day I'm making $500 for 20 minutes. Why the fuck do you think I'm going to Boston Pizza on a Thursday?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here because I like you guys.
Yeah, and not only that, but like you might get a lot of money at once, or if you have like a really good month, and then the next month it would
It's
not.
nothing.
It won't be as good, and so you have to learn how to make that money last. And
Theoretically.
yeah, theoretically. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'm terrible at it. So
Well, you
I buy stupid shit all the time.
you love buying stupid.
Oh
shit.
boy,
So do
I
you
ever.
have a portion of your budget that just says
That-
stupid shit?
I like how you said I had a budget. That's the best part. Don't even have one of those. Don't know what they are.
I don't know either, and I should.
But you're right. It is. It's, I think I said to Travis on our podcast, I gotta stop saying treat yourself because like,
Yeah.
how many times a day can you treat yourself?
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
It shouldn't even be every day.
Yeah. Like I bought this
I don't
fucking.
know.
Like I bought this chain that
Let me see
looks
this
so
chain.
much bigger online.
Oh, it's so dainty.
And then I got it, and it's so small.
Oh.
And I don't even know why I bought a chain in the first place because it's such white trash thing to do.
Yeah.
But I had this envision, like I was like,
I
think I
picture
said
you
it
like a pimp.
I think I said it at Beerley's the other night, like, because I had this hat on. I always wear this hat. I had this hat on. I had that hoodie on. I had this chain hanging out over a gray T-shirt. And I said I looked like the lowest level mob enforcer. Like if I was on The Sopranos, I wouldn't be big pussy. I would be no pussy. like, and I don't usually put bits on podcasts, but that's
I
for your,
love
that's for
that.
your fucking
Well, we're
or
at the
jokes
end.
on podcasts. Yeah.
Whoever heard it
Yeah.
deserves to hear it.
But yeah, I don't know. I buy stupid shit because like my problem is with Amazon Prime. I just look at the pictures. I don't read the descriptions. And I go, oh, Drunk Andrew wants that. Click, click, blip.
Oh my
Even
god.
fucking worse.
Oh, what did you get? Oh god.
So
Oh,
this wasn't even
God.
Drunk Andrew. I got home after getting this chain and feeling fucking like it came in the mail, and my new wallet with my new wallet chain came because I lost my wallet the other weekend and I flipped out.
That was a hilarious
Going back to
moment,
the
by
wallet
the
chain.
way.
I never lose the fucking wallet when it's on a chain. Anyway, so Kenny Robinson, very funny Canadian comic, has been doing it for many years. Winner of the Phil Hartman Comedy Award for Best Stand-Up Comic at some point. Runs a show called The Nubian Show. Anyways, it's just a great fucking comic. He posted this link to this T-shirt for The Wire, the show The Wire.
Okay.
Which is one of my, to me, the two greatest television shows ever written were The Sopranos and The Wire.
That's what I
They're
keep
just-
hearing.
They're just the two greatest shows.
Gotta watch those.
And so he had a link on his Facebook about this T-shirt, and I went on and fucking bought it, $50 US, to get delivered to me. And I don't even wear graphic tees, but I'm like, you know what? I guarantee you, I'm the only motherfucker in Halifax walking around in a gold Wire T-shirt. You're goddamn right I am.
my
Nobody else is gonna have this fucking shirt, and I love The Wire, and I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna feel like a pimp when I'm wearing it.
That was like Shannon at the party at your after party was it last weekend? I have no concept.
Yeah,
of
last
time.
weekend.
When we were high talking about waffles.
Yeah.
You weren't there, but I mentioned to her, I was like, Andrew Vaughan has never tried a fucking waffle in his
Nope.
life. It's a fucking disgrace. It's not. That's
I've had an
not-
Eggo, which I'm told are waffles, but
you need to have a waffle. Like me and Shannon, like we'll invite you over for a waffle party.
well, she just bought
Is
a waffle
waffle
maker,
party?
so-
That seems like it's a sexual thing. I don't
No,
know.
but there is this waffle.
Oh, blue waffle.
Blue waffle.
Oh,
yeah.
blah. But she was so high. We were talking about waffles, and then she was like on her phone. She's like, I just bought one. Put her phone down.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I was like, oh wow.
Couldn't stop myself. Just get a waffle maker.
Just like in the moment.
Well, that's
to be
what's, like that's the thing about Amazon. It's so fucking great. You just
I know.
2 to 3 days, it'll be there.
I
you
need
know?
to start buying more stupid shit on Amazon.
No, you don't.
Why not?
Trust me, as a guy who just spent a lot of money on some stupid shit, don't.
But does it make you feel good?
Yeah, it does.
So then, but I want to
Yeah,
feel
but
good.
you can't feel good by buying shit.
Yeah, you can.
You shouldn't try.
It's a downward spiral.
Because you're gonna feel bad when you look at your fucking bank account or credit card statement or your wallet. I open my wallet
you're
and I go,
right. I know.
low on funds. But I certainly got a fucking chain that makes me look like I never left Bridgewater. So
You really are going full Bridgewater.
it's spite chain now. It's fucking 2019 spite chain.
Yeah.
I paid for this shit. I'm wearing it. My only problem is I'm weary about wearing it in the shower.
Well, obviously, don't wear jewelry in the shower. Like, who the fuck would?
But
why would you not? Why would you wear jewelry in the shower? Is
then
my
I never have
question.
to take it off. I just fucking shower and go.
Laziness.
Yeah. So?
That's like
Think I got into
wouldn't
this
go
lifestyle?
I wouldn't go to bed with jewelry on either. That would bug me.
Oh, I go to sleep with this on for sure. For sure.
Doesn't that bug you?
No, why? I don't feel it.
What do you sleep in?
Depends.
Literally depends.
Yeah. Burn up. I most nights just my wife beater and underwear. But I do love a good pajama bottom, like a nice.
I would
pair
like
of
to treat
pajama
myself
pants.
to some nice pajamas.
I have some, but it just depends. Usually, I'm too fucked up to bother putting them on. Like I'm taking off one pair of pants. Why am I gonna put on another pair?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm just a hot sleeper, so.
But what I do like is wearing the pajamas and just getting up the next day and spending my whole day in pajamas.
Yeah, I love that feeling.
So then you're like, I don't give a fuck.
I love that feeling.
Yeah,
Fuck clothes.
Well, it's it's comfy. It's super comfy.
It is.
So no, I can't sleep naked. I've tried it. It's too uncomfortable. I don't like
totally.
the idea at any point my butthole could touch my sheets.
Yeah.
It just seems weird. I know my butthole's clean. It just seems weird.
I've slept with underwear and nothing else. That feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Topless sleeping, nothing like it. It's
Well, yeah,
fantastic.
I think as a woman, especially best because you keep those things chained up all day, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's the best feeling ever, taking off a bra.
Yeah.
Like there's no better feeling in the world than that. So, yeah, topless sleeping is fun.
Yeah, it is what it is. I just enjoy it, But like if I'm taking a nap, I'm fully clothed with like a blanket over me.
Fully clothed.
Yeah. Just a nap.
Oh, I take off. Actually.
Well, it depends. Am I going to jerk off before this nap? If I'm going to jerk off before this nap, then no, it's not fully clothed.
Well, I always figured that if a guy really wanted to jerk off, he would just
most of
put
my
the
jerking
pants down
off is
enough. Put the pants down
pre-naps.
enough.
No, but you can't. I'm not a normal
really
guy when
lazy.
it comes to jerking off. Like no, because I never understood this whole stereotype of coming into a Kleenex. Like when I'm done, I just shoot on my belly and I fucking wipe it up with my underwear and then I go to sleep.
Do most people use Kleenex?
Yeah, they shoot into something.
Oh, that's weird.
I guess
I
that's
never
that's
thought
actually
that.
probably normal. What I do is probably considered weird.
I don't think that's weird at all.
But that's why I do it before a nap.
were to
Then
give
I
a
take an
guy a
hour nap,
hand
get up,
job-
and I fucking shower. Like
If you were to give a guy a hand job, you wouldn't do it.
I
into
would
a
not do
Kleenex.
that. But despite what many people would claim, I'm not giving hand jobs.
You know what? If a girl was to give
Yep.
a guy a hand job,
But they always wipe up. I got a hand job from a woman once, and then she fucking like grabbed something and started to wipe around the base of my dick and my fucking everything, like cleaning it all
she
up.
cleaned up for you. That's a good deed.
Yeah, well, I never saw her again, so.
Well, there's nothing wrong with cleaning it up.
Yeah, I have a theory that she was. See,
I love this.
how much trouble do we want to get in on this
A lot.
podcast?
Let's get in trouble.
I want to tell this story exactly the way I want to tell it without altering my language.
Do you
because
here?
of
Let me
anybody.
get you another beer,
Yeah, I'm
and
almost
then
out of beer.
we'll tell this story.
We'll tell this story. Oh no, I still got some in this. I'm still sipping this. Don't. I'm not a Travis Lindsay. Travis Lindsay often leaves mouthfuls and beers at my place, and then I go, you didn't finish it. Like I never say that to him, but I'm like, you still got a mouthful. I know it's as warm as your sock is on your foot right now, but like, yeah.
Bottles of beer suck, though. I get it.
But why would you leave a mouthful and then start another one?
Yeah, that might be that's a little weird.
I just don't think he's paying attention. So anyway, I'll tell this story because I'm just gonna. Oh, you still need to get a drink too. I should wait for you. Oh, even better. I mean, some of your guests have to pee too, but fuck their feelings. Now, this is. See, okay. No, you think I'm angry at you. I'm not.
What are you angry about?
This is what I mean about online shit. Not being able to fucking because so a comic died tonight, a maritime comic, and I worked with him maybe 5 times. He's done Gus's 2 or 3 times, so I kind of feel like I should write something like condolences to his friends and his family, like rest in peace, blah 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 blah. And this other comic who knows him better than I did, like he did the laughing like on that post.
Oh, that's
and I'm just
that's not cool. I wonder if that would have been a mistake.
But like now, my initial fucking reaction is now I want to fight this guy.
Who the fuck would?
And he might know this fucking comic better than I do, and maybe that's how he processes the grief thing. But like now I want to fight this fuck. You know what I mean? Like this is how out of control online is.
Yeah, that's. I wonder. You'd have to wonder if that was a mistake or not, though.
I don't know. Anyway,
maybe it was a mistake.
Okay, so
from death to a jerk off story.
So probably the last time I had any sort of sexual interaction with somebody I was probably a year into comedy. Like maybe I was living in Clayton Park, not where I live now, but around the corner. And I met this girl on Plenty of Fish, and the first thing, and again, I want to preface, I'm just going to tell the story the way I would tell it if there were no mics on, and if you're offended by it, then
do not take content if you are hypersensitive.
Fucking gives a shit. Anyway, I'm done caring about whiny pussies and what they think about shit.
We don't care about you.
So anyway,
Intoxicated is not for sissy bitches.
Yeah. So I was on Plenty of Fish. And I started talking to this chick who was from Moncton. And I don't remember her name because it started with a Z.
Which is not common.
Which is not common.
No.
I just call her Zathura now. Like, do you remember Zathura? Zathura was a movie sequel to Jumanji in a weird way. It was written by the same people who did Jumanji, but it was like a board game in space where and it was a bad movie. So her name started with a Z, so I call her Zathura. So for the rest of the story, I'll call her Zathura.
Like it.
But she had a profile which she was sharing with another friend of hers, which I thought was weird.
It's weird when couples do it, even weirder if friends do it.
Because like there were 2 girls in the picture and I didn't know who was talking to me.
That's bizarre.
But she's like, I come to Halifax all the time. She's like, I like bigger guys. Like, I think you're cute and blah, 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 blah. So there was a snowstorm where she was stranded in Halifax.
Oh.
She came up to my place and we smoked a joint and we listened to some music and then we ended up in my bed and we were like making out. And then she gave me a hand job over the underwear hand job. So it was like, but in a way I was kind of grateful because.
So like extreme dry humping? Or was she?
No, it was just, but like how graphic do you want me to be about this?
I mean, I don't give a shit.
There's no real dry. I have foreskin, so there's no real dry jerking off. I don't need lube to jerk off. I have a foreskin.
No, but I mean, like, was she rubbing it or was
she had it gripped like a dick.
Through
it just
the
was
underwear?
like it was like you had an erection and she's grabbed onto it and started fucking.
My main question is like, what's the fucking? Why don't you just go under the underwear? Like at that point, I don't get it. That's really
but at
bizarre.
the same time, because of the snowstorm, none of us had power. Like power just came back on like hours before this.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of like, I didn't shower for 24 hours, so like maybe an over-the-top boxer hand job was the best. Like
fair.
I try to be cleanly all the time, but like maybe an over-top.
Yeah.
But then I kept trying to I was sucking on her titties, and I kept trying to fucking like finger her. And every time I put my like hand down her pants, I'd get to like her pubic hair, and she'd be like, no, like playfully, and like pull my hand up, right? And I was like, why didn't she want me to finger her? Like what's like
period?
Which would have been the logical probably explanation, but in hindsight later, I was like, well, she did have an Adam's apple.
Oh.
And I was like, was there like a dick down there? Like, was she like, and granted, there was. I know now with ultra hindsight, she's definitely a woman.
Oh, okay.
Naturally born woman. But the first thing in my head was like, is she a tranny?
Yeah.
And she doesn't want me to discover that she has a dick? And then I was like, she doesn't understand how okay I would be. I wouldn't freak out. I'd just be like, okay, so there's this thing you didn't tell me about. All right, well, I guess we got to figure out what to do with this.
Oh my
gosh. I don't think I would do anything to it sexually,
right?
But it wouldn't gross me out if I was hooking up with a woman. If a woman sucked my dick and then she stood up and she had an erection, I'd be like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. But like, I wouldn't. I know Travis and Holmes like, don't fucking say you would love that. But what I'm saying is like, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be upset. I would be like,
no, you wouldn't. Yeah.
I just don't see.
But would you have a positive reaction?
No, because to me, I honestly think that she's still a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what's so fucking confusing to me about gender identity and this and that. And you can't say this and you got proper pronouns and it's not he, she, it's they, them.
Yeah.
I came to accept transsexuals and understand that a part of my life was just going, oh, that's not a boy, that's a girl. That's not a girl, that's a man. Like a boy, right? Like that was it. I honestly was like, I didn't grow up, but in my 20s, I had this fucking thing that was just like, yeah, if you live your life as a woman and you see yourself mentally as a woman, you're a woman. I don't care what genitals you have. You're a woman.
Exactly.
If you're same in reverse the other way.
Yeah.
But now it's, well, I'm not really a woman. I'm not really a man. I'm they, I'm them, I'm Z, I'm Z. And that to me, I'm just like, I can't wrap my head around this shit.
The they thing, I respect it and I will try my best with it. But it does, there's
I try my best. I just don't get it.
There's a gender queer, I guess is what
non-binary is
non-binary.
There's weirds me. I have no idea what that means. I've had so many people explain to me what non-binary is, and none of it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's confusing.
Everything's different. Every explanation's different, and none of it makes sense.
Like, what would you? Okay, so in this case, it's a contestant on Big Brother. Mm-hmm. So if I was talking to you and I said, "There's a they on Big Brother,"
I would try very hard to say they.
Yeah, I have to actually
but
stop
I might
myself.
fuck up and say the wrong thing, but I would try to say they.
Yeah. It's tough, though.
Just out of respect. Just out of respect for another human being. It's not...
100%.
I think that... I honestly, truly believe that somebody can be born one gender on the inside than they are a different gender on the outside. I 100% believe that. Some of the other shit, I don't believe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just getting older. Maybe I'm getting stubborn. Mm. But even if I don't believe you, I respect you enough to use the fucking words you want to use. Now, if I don't use the right word, it's because I fucked up.
Oh, 100%.
It's not because I'm like, they want me to use this word. I'll show them and use the word I want to use. Like, I'm not that person.
But I think the they thing, it's tough because you still might look at someone and think that they're one or the other.
Yeah, I get it.
And you might just naturally, because we're so accustomed to doing it, say she or he. It takes some time. But the problem is, like, I'm still not convinced that there's not just she and he. Yeah. No,
I honestly think there's 3 genders. I think there's he, she, and transgender. Mm-hmm. And transgender means you could go either way.
But even transgender, like you'd have to call them she or he.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if we knew somebody that was born a man but lived as a woman, I would call her she.
Yeah.
If they got upset and said, please say they, I would try my hardest to say they.
Yeah, and the thing is that that's all we can do.
And that's all we can do, but not try. No, but the problem is some people don't see it that way. Some people see it as
and that's
and it's unfortunate because you're hurting everything in the overall cut. I'm not the enemy. I am not your enemy.
Yeah.
Your enemy is somebody that wants you to die because they don't understand who you are. I am not that person.
Yeah.
I might not understand who you are, but I want you to live and be happy.
But you're being respectful.
And I'm going to try my hardest to be respectful.
Exactly.
And so, yeah.
No, it's wild. Yeah, it's interesting on Big Brother. Like, you can tell in the beginning of the series, there was definitely a lot of editing in the diary room.
Yeah. Well, I hope we get to a point where it's not an issue.
I do too.
Like, there was the last Survivor season I watched, there was a man on there, and I just thought he was a nerdy man. Like he was a bow tie, like nerdy things, worked in computers or something. And then a contestant just dropped halfway through, like, you're not being honest with everybody. You're not telling everybody that you were born a woman.
Yeah.
And it was like this big.
Oh,
like,
oh yeah, I remember that. I watched
shit,
that.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I kind of like the, like, I understand the show hid that for that moment so that when we were revealed, it was more of a,
yeah.
But I'd like it even more if it was just never even addressed. Like, not that they just, and that sounds like I'm saying hide who you are. I'm not. Fucking be open with who you are. But wouldn't it be nice if you could be open with who you are and it didn't matter?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And it didn't define who you were.
The problem is so many people want who they are to define who they are.
Exactly.
And it's not about who you are, it's about what you do. And that it's a shitty, stupid Batman Begins quote, but it's not about
reminds me of
who you are, it's about the things that you do that define you.
Have you ever seen Across the Universe?
No.
There's a great scene.
I only quote Batman movies. That's all I watch.
There's a great scene where they're at the dinner table and someone says, it's not about who you are, it's about what you do. And then someone else goes, no, it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. And then someone else goes, no, it's not about who you are, it's about how you do it. They just kept going.
Yeah,
I love that.
Nobody can decide.
I love that scene.
What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if you put on a mask and be Batman. It matters if you stop crime as Batman. Yeah. So you can tell everybody you're Batman, but if you're not solving crimes, you ain't Batman and you ain't shit. I don't know. I think it's very important that we educate people and not silence them just because maybe I'm sure somebody could listen to what I'm saying and be like, you're ignorant about this. Maybe I am. So. Maybe I am. But you don't shout me down. You don't write letters. You don't try to get me fired. You don't. You just try to educate me. I like to think I'm a pretty reasonable guy.
Yeah. No, you are 100%.
Yeah. So we need more of that in the world. We really need to fucking just stop trying to fucking persecute everybody for every dumb little stupid thing.
Yes, that's exactly
just let them live.
Is.
People make mistakes. My dad says shit that I'm not proud that he says, but I try to fucking tell him like, like it doesn't mean I don't love my dad any more than I already did, or any less.
He grew up in a different time. He grew up in a different time.
Usually my dad, when he says something, I'll go, that's not right. You should think of it this way. He goes, well, I guess you're kind of right. And I remember a conversation once where he said to me, he was like, why do gay people have to have a gay pride parade? Like, there's not a straight pride parade, like that old bullshit. And I said, Dad, but what about like the Million Man March? What about the women marching in Washington? What about, and he was like, well, I guess when you put it that way,
exactly,
there's
right?
lots of different, and
he's not against it. He just didn't know.
No, he just didn't understand.
He just didn't know. Yeah. We're all trying our best, people.
And there's just so much shit going on in the world. You can't expect somebody to process everything that's happening and be a well-functioning, woken, whatever the fuck that means, individual. There's just too much going on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one thing I know is that I just don't have an attachment to a cathedral that burned down, and so that's one thing I know.
I'm dead honest about it. If you're more upset about a fucking building burning down than you are about the priests that fuck kids in those buildings, then
and
you
all
have
the
a problem.
fucking shit that goes down.
Yeah, you have a
places
fucking
like
problem.
that.
You have a problem. I don't deny that there's history and there's art and there's all that in that building, but it's just a goddamn building. Yeah, that's all it is. There's believed to be. Although the church denies this, there's believed to be there's an extra part of the Bible that's believed to exist that they leave out of the Bible, which is supposed to be Christ in his own words, because you never hear Christ in his own words. You hear other people telling stories about what Christ said.
Oh yeah, it's not
what
from
Christ
his perspective.
did,
Yeah,
but you never have a book of Christ where it's Christ in his own words. And there is a book that exists out there of Christ in his own words. Now Catholics and Christians will tell you that it's fabricated and that it's not real and blah 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 blah. But in it, one of the first things Jesus says is, God is not in a church. God is not in a stone. God is in everything. God is in the air that you breathe. God is in the tree that you know what I mean?
It's not a place. It's not a physical. Yeah.
And so now I don't believe in God and Jesus anyway. So it seems weird that I'm saying all this shit. But I just think that if God does exist, it is not in a church. It is not in a stone. It's not in.
No.
Yeah.
No, one thing I will say, and I brought this up again at that fucking party at Daniel's, but like, I do recognize the power of a beautiful building. Yeah. Because when I've gone into like the Basilica in Montreal, like you do feel a sense of like calmness and I definitely see the power in that.
But buildings are built and buildings fall,
and they can be rebuilt.
And it's it's just to get so upset.
Yeah.
About somebody else's opinion about an old building that really meant nothing to them. Yeah. Like, you're not Catholic, are you?
I grew up Catholic.
But you don't care. You don't go to church. No. Like, so who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah. And like also too, like, just look at what you're commenting on before you start like
I do think that was more gender based than
well, that tweet though wasn't
I think
about,
they were more comfortable going after you because you were a woman. I honestly think
which is bullshit. But like that tweet was not about the church. It was about social media. Yeah, it was about how people make tragedies.
People making everything about themselves.
Exactly. It would be like if
I told you tonight about somebody that was doing that to me. Like, people do it. People do it.
And that's like all of social media. And I don't know. It's just ridiculous to I don't know, jump down someone's throat and say they're being disrespectful. And people grieve in different ways. Well, guess what? I grieve through laughing.
I was just gonna say, I love how everybody says people grieve in different ways until you grieve through laughter and humor,
and then you're not right.
And then you're like, well, that's not right. Well, you just said people grieve in different. Not that I think this is right, but if the way that I grieved was to pick a fucking duck and beat it to death and then fuck it in a public park. That's just how I grieve. Like, right? That was a bad analogy. I just realized that as it came out of my mouth. I think I just wanted to say that I was going to beat a duck and fuck it to death. I don't think there was anything important to be said in that. We were on a roll and then I ruined it.
But it is a weird thing because humor is how a lot of people deal with the shittiness of the world. I remember the first funeral that I ever went to as like a non-little kid.
Yeah, I've been doing jokes about them, adult funerals.
And like, I remember like a friend of ours, mom died, and like a group of us just went and stood in the back and started joking around. And we all looked at each other and went like, I think we needed to joke. We needed to have a laugh because it was just too much.
I remember one time in university, it was not a death thing, but a female friend of mine and her boyfriend, she was on the phone with her family and they got in this big fight and she hung up the phone and she was crying her eyes out and her boyfriend just hugging her. And I just stood up and took my pants off. Like, I just dropped my pants to the floor in the middle of this room.
Comic relief.
And she just started laughing. And she was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I just needed to break the tension somehow.
I would appreciate that so much. Like, I'm putting it on record now. If I have to deal with like the death of anyone close to me,
you can take your pants off.
Come and make me laugh. Like, for real. Like, I appreciate that so much. I think that shows.
Oh, me for so sure. You need humor. It has to be there. And like I said, it's so funny that people are, like you said, like, I don't know,
just so quick
like,
to judge.
Oh, you can use every other coping mechanism except humor, unless it aligns with what they think is funny, and then they go, oh, that's funny.
And most of these people claim to be so open and open-minded.
That's white people. We stink.
We really, truly do.
Yeah. In many ways.
Do we ever? I'll be the first to admit it. Like, I just think, but I think we also have to be like, recognize like that tweet. It was also about privilege. You can't go to Paris if you're fucking poor.
But also, like I said to you in the comments, or I didn't say to you, I said I wanted to leave it on the comments, was about how, like, if you're offended by this, tweet at Whitney Cummings. Oh, wait, you won't do that because one of two things are going to happen. She's either going to ignore you, so you're not going to get the response you want, or she's going to slaughter you because she's hilarious and you won't get the response you want.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
So you go after Sarah because you're going to respond to them, which is what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's true.
It's just so stupid. It was so pointless and so meaningless for them to get that fucking upset over a tweet that you didn't write.
Yeah, I just posted it. Yeah.
You just shared it.
This is the world we live in.
That's it.
Can't fucking...
Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a downer to end it on. But
Yeah, no, I think we went all over the
We
place.
are gonna end this episode.
I'm just saying, look, if there's 5 minutes in this podcast that you didn't enjoy, just wait 5 minutes. 'Cause boy, oh boy, did we switch topics.
It's like the weather in Halifax.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you didn't like the fucking Big Brother talk,
I loved the Big Brother
then you're
talk.
gonna wait for the sex talk. If you didn't like that talk, then you're gonna wait for the fucking meme sharing religion talk. It's all over.
It's a fucking
fun.
mix. This
It
was
good though.
Andrew, I appreciate it so much, buddy, for coming on. I always like having you on.
We would have just been doing this anyway over text if I'd have stayed home.
And it's true. Just in general, the Boys Club, all of you guys do so much for Intoxicated, and I thank you all. Even Dan reached out saying, "Oh, if you really need an episode, I'm down." Yeah. So I can't say thank you enough for coming on all the time, and everyone, please check out Boys Club if you can handle it.
Yeah. I honestly don't give a fuck. I don't look at the iTunes ratings. I don't look at the comments. I don't look at the fucking comments on the website. I don't.
That's good.
We just do what we do, and we say fuck it. You like it or you don't. Hate it or love it. You know, fucking underdogs are on top.
Love it.
You know,
truth or truth.
50 Cent. I'ma shine until my heart stops.
There you go.
Go ahead, MV me.
No, that's a great way to live.
Yeah. It is. It's just it is. It's like you don't read the fucking comments.
Read the comments. That should be the title.
Don't read the comments.
That should be the title of this episode. Don't read the comments.
Jamie Foxx said it best. Don't read the comments.
Don't feed the troll or whatever it is.
Yeah, fuck them. They can't take a joke.
That's true. Well, but thanks so much, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This was fun. We're going to keep hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm going to finally get high.
For a little bit, then I'm going to go home.
I'm going to get high now. I couldn't get high on this episode because I don't know how to run a podcast when I'm high.
I'm going to go home within the hour just because my roommate is leaving for a couple days. I want to hang out with him a little bit.
Oh, you want to have a little roommate time?
Well, I want to find out how his fucking roast beef sandwich went last night.
Oh, my God.
That was not said on the podcast. It was not said on the podcast. So you're wondering what I mean? Richard's going to hate me for this one. Can we stop recording now before something else comes out of my mouth?
Richard won't make it to this point. Let's be honest.
Richard doesn't listen to the Boys Club when he's in the same room with the Boys Club.
That's very
So
true.
he doesn't give a shit. Okay.
Thanks so much, Andrew.
Thank you so much, man.
You get to do a bell ring. Ring that bell. Just one. There you go.
3 in a row, and I hit him without fucking it up, Travis.
All right.